All right, guys, welcome to the new Papa Gut setup. Incredible stuff. Got a new computer and a bunch of other stuff. It's a beautiful thing. So now the bitrate shouldn't crash, and maybe we'll start introducing new games. Anyway, for right now, we're going to focus on this video. It's a conversation with Boogie going on to the Some Ordinary Podcast. A couple people sent it to me. I'm kind of curious. Things have been a little kooky lately between, well, I guess specifically Boogie and Boogie and Tipster. I don't know, man. We watched that the other day. I watched Boogie's video, the core video. That's like which was really just kind of a pearl clutch over Gamergate 2 coming back. It was mostly Boogie having a meltdown because, dude, I don't know, because the big AAA companies, in order to get loans, they usually have to do some kind of quality assurance, like whatever that stupid SBI was it called, Super Balls Incorporated. But they have to, reference them when it comes to their diversity hiring and other standards and workplace standards. And, Boogie, of course, is melting down, saying, see, there's wokeness and everything. My opinion, it's really just, if I was going to give a huge loan for a video game, I wouldn't want a Blizzard 2 to happen. And we all know what happened there. Or if you don't, it was some terrible harassment at work to the point where it was horrific. Some of these gaming workplace cultures can be rough. So if I was going to give out a loan, I'd say, hey, you have to work with some kind of diversity team to make sure that like there's a solid quality of the, people getting hired and being treated fairly and correctly. Anyway, he decided on Twitter, and maybe I'll just put the whole interaction, because I read the Twitter interaction. That was funny. Watching his video was boring as shit. So was watching Tipster's video. That was boring. But the Twitter interaction is funny. Maybe I'll insert that in here just as a little bonus. Cool. Gamergate 2 is kicking off. I don't plan to be on the wrong side of history this time. Okay. Forced diversity is bad. Diversity done to pander is bad. Polar diversity is bad. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I do hate myself. This whole fucking thing is so stupid, dude. I fucking feel like I wasted my time even like looking at any of this. I wasted like an hour of my fucking time looking at Boogie's. This is so fucking stupid. Holy fuck. This is literal the biggest brain rot I've ever looked at. Jesus Christ, is it really that easy to upset the beehive? Me, I am a white man and I like play video games, the internet. I just don't understand this take. Like, who's lecturing people about what video game hot take? Video games are supposed to be fun, not lecture about why being white is bad. What video games shame white people? I just don't know. Like that, what? Is there an answer? Okay. It's wild getting called alt-right at the moment because I said video games shouldn't shame white men. I literally voted Democrat since I was able to vote, donated yearly to the Human Rights Campaign, raised money for trans charities, helped start up a game store that was an LGBTQ safe zone in Arkansas and was in an interracial relationship in the South in the 80s and 90s and got my ass beat up for simply loving a black woman. My only offense is being a white man who likes video games. I got lit the fuck up by these people. He's such a victim, dude. You're so weird. You're making intentionally provocative takes on fucking Twitter, and people are getting mad at you, and now you're playing the victim. It's so weird. This guy's such a weirdo. Also, nothing says that you love donating to charity because you enjoy charity, like announcing it. I donate to a charity. Stop yelling at me. Okay. I don't think that's why you're supposed to donate to charity, brother. That's a shield. I don't know, man. Whether I make a list of video games with forced diversity and bullshit or not, it doesn't change the simple fact that video games are supposed to be fun, not lectures. Yeah, but what? This person just asked, yeah, this is the point, though. I think that there are many people who would still... Like, what's the... Can I name 5... Yo, name 5 games. Name a single game. I can't, even if I can't, it doesn't change... This guy asked to name 5 games that support your original tweet of that these are lectures against white people, and he goes, even if I can't, it doesn't change the fact. Like, why even talk? Why make that point then? This is so stupid. You just like made up a victim there. I'm not saying that like video games aren't, so I guess some video games aren't annoying with like narratives. I haven't really played any. I've seen it in like TV shows, I guess sometimes. I guess Scooby-Doo was one example. I don't fucking know. The newest one, Velma, is kind of what the fuck? It felt a little bit forced. But it wasn't terrible. But what is this? Like what give us an example. You sound like you have a very stern opinion. I am pissing off Tipster. Oh, this is where Tipster comes into play. Christopher the Narc. This is apparently Tipster saying Boogie 2988 becoming the quartering ripoff. Put that in quotes, bro. Wasn't on my 2024 bingo card, but it should have been. He's lost a lot of relevancy in years. It's a little ironic to say that, but okay. And his bank account is looking rather empty these days. And being the lovable Mr. Rogers character of the internet wasn't working anymore because people got a chance to see behind the current and get a good look at what was the real Boogie 2988 is like. And surprise, they didn't like it. Not to mention the fact that the anti-woke grift is extremely profitable. Oh my God, no offense, both these guys are insufferable. And I can imagine seeing folks like the Quartering and Melanie Mac rake in mounds of cash on the grift. Looks rather appealing to a has-been with a career on life support, whose only current claim to fame is being the co-host of a podcast hosted by Keemstar, where you are literally just there for the purpose of being mocked by everyone on the internet for being a walkout. Kind of true. But hey, anything for a quick buck and a taste of clout, Boogie? Even if it means siding with some of the worst people on the internet. Glad to know that all kind words and encouraging messages you've tried to deliver in your videos in the past didn't mean shit, and that it was all just a facade to try and convince everyone that you're somehow the good guy of the internet. I hope for your sake that the grift is worth it, booger. Okay. Why not just fucking make a video, a YouTube about it? Why do these guys constantly do Twitter? It's not giving them any benefit. Why don't you just make a fucking video about this on YouTube and make money? Why do you guys sit on Twitter all day? It's so fucking weird. We'll make a YouTube video about it. Oh, shit. We got a 48-minute video from Tipster that I'm not going to watch. Oh, my God. Look at the lore, dude. We got the Tippy lore. He's going in hard. Do I actually want to watch this? Dude, how fucking hard am I going to goon on this goddamn take? I might actually watch that and make this a huge fucking segment. I don't know. If I'm pacing off Tipster, it's a good litmus test that I'm on the right track. All right, fair enough, I guess. I don't know what the fuck this is. Let's see what else we got in here. I just don't really know how to use this stuff. Dude, I had a young man show up to my door and leave when he said, okay, crazy. All right, lots of gay stuff. A little kid at his door. Tipster, glad to see you stop defending Vosh and his lolly porn and horse rape. This is the slop I've been looking for. Long enough to type this, but no, unlike you, a person who got ejected from the commentary community to go fly. This is fucking amazing. The interaction is my favorite. These two are just shitting on each other. It's so funny. Oh my God. Ejected from the commentary community to go fly false rainbow flags. I am no grifter. I feel like maybe both of you kind of are. I don't know. You are a perfect example of the type of person whose politics should stay far away from Oh, I don't want you and your pedophilic shit anywhere near them. Politely go fuck yourself. I mean, this is what happens when you defend Lolly fucking twice in like a year, dude. Like, it's pretty rough. It's a tough take. You're kind of an easy dump on that one. What is this? Here, I wanted to take a moment to post some tips on things to look out for that are banned topics moving forward in chat, as well as Discord. The topics of a Lolly. Why were you guys having the conversations about Lolicon in the first place? I don't have a rule against it, but if you talk about it in my Discord, I will ban you without warning. I don't care. Everybody in my Discord sends each other's dogs. Okay, that's pretty much all they're doing, and sending me stuff to talk about. I wanted to take a moment to post some tips and things. What the fuck? Okay, topics of pedophilia, unless the topic being covered on stream. The Vosh folder. False allegations of myself, Vosh Kevels being a lolicon. Well, it's not really a false allegation. I think it's just a reasonable assumption based on the defense of the horse gooning folder. Mentions of commentary community creators that are clearly meant to derail the stream, promote their content, or appear to be part of the hate. Okay, if you see any mentions of the above topics in Discord and live stream, please delete their chat. Okay, great. This is so funny. This is actually very funny. Okay. Interesting. What the fuck is it? Oh, this is an ad. Hold on. Wait. That's a guy. That's a guy's butt. Can we see her butt? All right, I think he defends her. Maybe. Oh, they killed the fucking dog, dude. Damn, that did not go. Oh, wait. That's not really anything going on here. Whatever. Somebody called him a fat loser, so he said the tolerant left, everybody. Oh my god. The tolerant left. Dude, this guy's such a victim. Oh my god. Incredible. Oh, we got a little bit of a Tipster thing here. Who ghost wrote this tweet for you, Boogie? What tweet are we talking about? Oh, dude, I hate Twitter. I hate how it works out. Tipster, glad to saw. Okay, this one, the defense one. Who ghost wrote this tweet for you, Boogie? Because we both know a spineless coward like you didn't do it. Let me remind everyone what your original response to me was. Oh, and you want to talk about pedophiles? Aren't you the guy who recently literally shared a table with an actual pedophile to chow down on Doritos and Mountain Dew? What did EDP 445 get caught doing again? Oh, yeah, trying to meet a 13-year-old for sex. You keep good company, Boogie. Kind of a fair criticism. Here. Breaking bread with a pedo and siding with literal Nazis and bigots in Gamergate. Damn, Boogie, you sure have changed. Let's hope being on the right side of history, he said that in quotation marks, this time around goes well for you, and that all those friendly Gamergates don't chew you up and spit you out the way a needy Sarkeesian did and had you crying like a little bitch at VidCon, because we all know the anti-woke grifters won't turn on you the moment they realize how pathetic you really are. Wow, incredible. And here's the picture of them having a nice meal. I think Boogie goes on to talk about how he yelled at EDP, I think, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Oh, I got paid by Michael Klum to go scream at a pedophile he is exposing when someone else exposes... When someone exposes your ass, though, I will do it for free. Just to be clear, here's the thing. I just want to talk about this. There's nothing to expose with EDP. Okay, I understand Mike Klum is making a documentary, so I get it. He's not like an online person. He's like trying to get into this stuff and talk about it, and like, okay, it's cool. Maybe he's even raising awareness to people who don't know about EDP. I don't know how much I agree with that. But it's been multiple times that people have tried to expose him. It seems to really just be about content at a certain point. For somebody like Mike Klum, I don't really like care, if that makes sense, because he's like a documentarian. I don't know. It seems weird to constantly give this guy a signal boost. It seems like EDP's constantly getting a signal boost, and it's just kind of keeping him alive longer. My understanding is he only does documentaries if he gets paid, which means he probably had to get paid to do this. It keeps him in a level of relevancy. I feel like we all kind of know he's already a fucking disgusting predator. So if anything, this is just keeping him alive and well and going. I don't know. Papa, be honest, would you share a table with Boogie, EDP, and Tipster? No, I would not. I don't really care for any of them. They're all fucking weird, man. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, man. I guess I'm interested in the documentary, I suppose, though. I will watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take a look at it. It rubs me the wrong way, because I imagine you paid for this guy to be there, and I don't know, but whatever. I could be wrong. And no one wrote my tweets for me. Oh yeah, and I blocked you because you disgust me. It's one thing to yell at a pedophile. It's a whole other thing to be you and a jerk off to drawings of little. Wait, what? I'll be. When I am done putting you in your place, I will likely block you again. I doubt that Tipster jerks off to it. I think he just has this weird thing where he just overly defends like people he think are his friends. Weird. And no one wrote my tweets for me. I have a ton of friends who would. Oh, thanks for letting us know. Okay. The only friend you have left is Keppels. But wait, didn't he throw you under the bus for defending Vosh? Great friend, LOL. Kind of based. But I don't need help to destroy someone as pathetic and disgusting as you. And you call me a grifter? Didn't you fail as a gaming creator to join the commentary community, then fail at that to grift the Rainbow Coalition? What the fuck, the Rainbow Coalition? This is okay. It's probably not going to help him in the long run, but this is funny. How much would my OF be? Like $5. It'd be cheap. You know, because I know people would love me and they would come and look at it. You want me to give you a little bit of a teaser on it? Like one of these? Like maybe I can give you a little bit of that. Ooh. How about that? Is that good? I could probably make some money. How about, is that sexy? How about one of these? I know gay guys love armpits because I'm gay and I love them. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, this coming from a guy who went from sexually harassing e-girls to now sexually harassing trans girls. Okay. Jesus Christ. This is crazy. Genuinely and wholeheartedly, I hope you choose to chemically castrate yourself rather than defend pedos before you actually... Oh my god, I heard someone, you disgusting fuck. This is wild. This is so fun. This is funny. Holy shit. Alright. And then the recent post is before I hop off Twitter. If this guy's fucking instantly... What are you doing? Before I hop off Twitter for a while, I've pissed off a lot of POC and LGBTQ folks in the past 24 hours. Know that I still love you and always fight for you when I can. Oh, well, listen, not for nothing. You made this really weird rant about how you hate online leftists or just leftists in general because they were mean to you during Gamergate 1. And now you're going to be on the other side. Again, Gamergate is cringe. Both sides are cringe. The normal take is, hey, like, just make some fun games. Some of it gets a little annoying. That's it. You know, I'm sure that there are people complaining that there was like annoying forced diversity included in games, and there's probably some people complaining because some people are like, "Hey, what if you made a character that represents me?" You know what I mean? There's annoying people on both sides, and it's just like such a cringe issue. I stay out of it. But I won't change my opinion that video games are meant to be fun and not lecture. Okay, but what lectures? Who's lecturing anything? Anyway, I can see why they're mad at you. You called them the Rainbow Coalition. Okay. So Boogie kind of instantly shitted and farted himself at a certain point. What do we got from Tipster? How do I even look at this stuff, dude? I'm so fucking cringe. Oh wait, I think I got it here. All right, cool. Sorry, I'm like really bad with Twitter, so I'm just trying to like figure this out piece by piece. I think this is the next step. We're just gonna scroll out. This is how I'm doing it because I don't care. He's just it sounds like Tipster's just looks like he's just reposting a bunch of stuff. From Brianna Wu. Who's Brianna Wu? Is she Asian? What? That looks like a white woman. What the fuck? That's crazy. Is she really a white person? That's wild. Woohoo. Boogie, there's no major game release in history that has a lecture about white men being bad. There are plenty of games that deal with themselves of themes of oppression, racism, etc. But that's for games. But games are art. Yeah, well, not the kind of art I want to see. Just give me tits, you know? But it's so telling that when you get granular and ask for specific examples of wokeness in games, it's usually pretty... dude, stop using fucking words I can't pronounce that I don't feel like looking up. You can find some choice examples, but it doesn't seem like any kind of genuine trend. I haven't seen any example. Just show me like an example of a game. I'd be like, oh, okay, I get it. The reality is the mere presence of women, black people, LGBT people feels political for a lot of people, and they would prefer artists not include them. There's probably a level of truth to that. This is just, once again, asking him to give us some examples of these, you know, games that shame white guys, or a lecture about how being white is bad. Then I guess Boogie... What is this? This is Danny Laloders, a non-binary game developer. She was hired by whatever to create a game based on Marvel's Black Panther. Is your team? What does your team represent? What is the goal you and your team want to achieve? How will you achieve your goal? Mostly all people color. I mean, it makes sense to have a bunch of black people make a game about black people, but I don't care. I just don't give a shit about that discourse. Oh, anodyne equals inoffensive. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Good looks, my friend. I'd rather be me than pander to alt-right grifters like you are, using ellipse of TikTok as a source. The person who literally caused a child's hospital to receive bomb threats over her bigoted post. Yikes, Boogie. Damn, that's true. Here we go. Now we got some funny We got some funny Boogie stuff here.
Hey guys, it's me, Francis. And last time this Gamergate thing happened all those years ago, I feel like I was on the wrong side of history. I was just kind of a bit of a fence sitter last time, and so this time, I want to make sure I'm on the right side of history. Last time that big meanie Anita Sarkeesian was so mean to me at VidCon, and I didn't like that very much, so this time, I'm gonna side with all the racists and the Nazis and stuff like that, because they seem to think I'm a really cool guy, and they seem...
I will say this is just as funny as Boogie's Francis character in 2024, I'll say.
To be on the right side.
Not the old character, but when Boogie tries to rebring it back, you know what I mean?
Of this thing this time, and like I said, I want to be on the right side of history this time around. There was that infamous stream clip of me saying that, at least, racist is not...
All right. Apparently that person that lives at TikTok is talking about, she said if she were to make a game about queer people of color, she would have queer people of color devs. There's nothing to do with... Oh, that's fine. That makes sense to me.
See, they stand by what they believe in, and I'm going to stand by them this time, because that big bad Anita Sarkeesian was so mean to me at VidCon. How dare her!
Okay. What the fuck is happening? That really killed the mood, man. That killed the mood. This is just him showing Boogie blocked him at some point. The face I was making when coming across this tweet, skippity. Okay. Wow, incredible. Why are you posting on Twitter? Isn't this what happened in the fucking Tipster last time? He overly defended Vosh on Twitter and got decimated and he stopped posting. Boogie 2988 about to go full JonTron. Well, the difference is that at least JonTron meant what he said when he was saying some racist shit with Destiny. At least he meant it. I can respect that. I can't respect the weird white supremacist shit, but I can respect them actually meaning what you're saying. Okay. I think we're good. I'm having a stroke. Oh yeah, we already looked at that. Why is Keffels doing the same thing? Didn't she delete everything on her fucking... Didn't she delete her fucking YouTube? What are you doing? Why? I truly don't understand the fucking mental disorder you must have to use Twitter. I don't get it. I don't understand why these people go back and forth on something that makes them no money. Boogie got like what, 30 million or 3 million fucking viewers on the plug for his video on YouTube, and it didn't get any views. Like, it got 15,000, which is good for me, but not for the 4 million account. What the hell is happening here? That's like, what are you wasting your time for? I don't get it. Like, isn't there a more productive thing? Whoa. I'm gonna look at that in a minute. Okay, this is Tipster responding to him talking about how Mike Klum paid him to Klum himself. Don't expect sympathy from anyone when the Gamergate crowd turns on you, because they will turn on you. And when they do, no one will feel bad for you. You thought Anita Sarkeesian being rude to you at VidCon was bad? It will be a hell of a lot worse with them. You made your bed. I hope you're prepared to sleep in it now. Okay. Maybe I just did insert it. That was fun. But anyway, I guess Boogie decided to plug that on Twitter by saying, I don't like games that lecture white men for being bad. That doesn't. I've never seen a game. When he was pressed on it and asked to tell us what game it was, where white men are being lectured about being bad, he wasn't able to answer the question. Looked a little bit like a silly goose, some would say. Tipster kind of dunked on him on there, but then they started going off on a tangent. And that's when things got spicy. And it seems like the public sentiment is that Boogie won that exchange with Tipster. And I will say it's an interesting thing, but this is a pivotal moment for Boogie now, from a career perspective. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you why. Right? As a content creator, we obviously go through ups and downs, and there's going to be those pop moments. I was revamping this channel for the past year and a half. Trying to get myself together, display content that I was proud of, or not act like an asshole is really what I was doing. Trying to get that under control. And then nobody really sees it until you have a pop moment. And my big pop moment really was like when the beginning of the year, I guess, with the Mama Max stuff, or the end of last year. That was a pop moment for me. I got a nice audience from that, and my content's finally stable. I'm happy where I am. And the Vosh stuff was another pop moment. Some red pill mini pops over here and there I usually get. And this is Boogie's pop moment from the Tipster thing. What you want to do, though, is when you have your pop moment, you want to make sure that your content's like solid and consistent. And I don't know if Boogie's done that. I don't consume his content. I don't know if he's really put out more stuff recently. I don't know why he wouldn't be able to do one video a day. But like, you know what? Maybe I'm just stupid. So this is his pop moment. He's gotten a lot of positive attention from the Tipster thing.
I think it might have been.
He even made a video about it, which I don't think I'm going to watch. Maybe I'll throw it in at the end of this just for fun. He's not really posting very consistently, but this could be it. This could be his thing. We'll see what happens, though. But anyway, enough yapping. Let's start the show.
From the meth factory, so we're going to wait a little bit until... Hello, guys and gals. Me,
How's it sound?
Welcome to another episode of the Some Ordinary Podcast. It's me, Nuts. Oompa is actually on his way from the meth factory, so we're going to...
I feel like Oompa's always on his way from some factory.
Wait a little bit until he shows up. But to start off, we've got a YouTube legend, somebody that I would probably never be interacting with on this podcast, considering our history. We've got Boogie290.
Yeah, I know the two of them don't really like each other very much. But again, I said that new charitability, that people like him a little more now because of the whole tip. Well, people really dislike Tipster a lot. You know, unfortunate for him, man. I think I heard that he was removed from the YouTube algorithm search or something. People would look up Tipster and they wouldn't even see him. See somebody else. So
yeah, I'm really surprised you invited me. I actually had to rack my brain and
see, have to increase the low.
Look at this lately, or like thinking this might be an name, but I guess it's just a regular podcast interview, so that's cool. I like that.
No, the good news is we have never had any scammers that we knew of on the podcast. Before we actually figured out they were scammers.
Yeah, I feel like we're. Oh yeah, we have Max and shit.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the thing I can give credit, Boogie, is regardless of whatever history, I don't actually think you ever did a charity scam. At all.
Yeah. What is a charity scam? How does one do one of those?
Like that's the one thing that's not in my repertoire. But actually,
I'm just kidding. How does it look, guys? Does it look? Are we losing bitrate? It's crazy.
The reasons why we wanted to have you on, and I was actually pushing for last week, is because of the EDP photo. So might as well rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, I'm still curious about that. It seems like a little bit in poor taste. I feel like it's time to stop putting EDP into the public atmosphere because clearly it's not making his life any worse. He hasn't gotten arrested, it seems. He hasn't gotten put in jail. So at this point, it almost feels like anytime you really talk about him, it's just giving him another opportunity to get a little bit more mainstream coverage. But then again, God's doing God's work, and he seems to be have kidney problems. Seems to be he's having a rough time. I can't say too much.
Oompaville has a type of content that he's been doing for like the last bunch of years, and you fit the bill, so this is perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
God, fucking swear to God, we're gonna go to hell.
You have questions about the EDP thing? What do you want to know?
We have lots of questions.
Well, one of the things is I'll be real. I was when I saw the photo, I'm like, look, how the f*** do you drop this far off where you're like actually sitting down in front of him? Alleged.
That's
okay. So I have a question.
Alleged. I don't know about that. But that's my first thought too. I was like, wow, how do you stoop even lower than you were before? That's pretty disgusting in my opinion. At least my first thought.
All right, let's start here. Did you recognize?
Especially since EDP probably got paid a pretty significant amount of money, and like when it comes to Mike Klum, I get it. He's a documentarian kind of guy. He's trying to kind of do his thing, and I respect it. So I don't really put too much fault with him. But I don't know. Outside of that, it's just kind of weird.
Nice that was clearly a film set.
Film set with lots of McDonald's. It was like we had Dan Schneider on the set there.
But I was like, you're still sitting with him.
The first moment, hold on, Boogie, 1 second. The first moment of this podcast is Muda saying, I would like to ask you a question. You saying, ask away. He asks a question, and you interrupt him to ask a question.
Have you met me? That's my MO. That's what I do.
I know. Hey,
what's going on? We said that you were coming home from the meth factory, but anyways,
which is good.
How come, I know Oompa's late a lot. How come they don't just wait to start? I mean, they're probably busy. Probably got a busy schedule thing.
But really, I do need a new hookup. If you haven't heard.
You need a new plug?
Yeah, I need a new plug.
He needs a new plug.
Yeah.
When's the Sour Boy drinking? When's the Sour Boy's blue meth flavor going out?
Yo, his last drug dealer tried to kill him.
Yeah, I'm literally sitting right next to the broken window where he threw a sewer grate at my skull. So it's exciting.
Didn't your last drug dealer give you advice or something?
No, he
didn't he give you advice? What does that even mean?
Vandalized my home. He went absolutely batshit insane. I mean, it wasn't dealing me drugs. I think it's very important.
That's probably guys. You shouldn't do drugs because drug dealers, they're crazy. I don't know if you guys knew that.
You all know that. He was like trying to use herbal remedies to cure my fatness and wanted $127,000.
Herbal remedies?
Very gullible man.
Bro. I'm telling you, I showed him in a YouTube video. Like, shrooms was one of the things we used early on. But like, he was giving me this like $40 white label shit you can get. I think it's SAUS, something like that. This like herbal.
Oh, it's a sus? Is that what it is?
Supplement.
It's like, literally called sus.
Fatness. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, man. I whatever, dude. Well, we get into that, but we were talking about the EDP. Did you see these photos of me with EDP?
Yeah, we did. We saw the EDP photos.
Yeah,
we saw the EDP photos.
So I got invited by Mike Klum, the guy who did my documentary.
I can't believe that's his name, man. Michael Klum. I felt like it's a troll at first, I
think we all know who Mike Klum is by now. And
sure.
Yeah.
I do have a half.
He's the guy that gets numbers wrong, according to you.
I mean, he did, and he admitted to it, right? He admitted to it, getting those numbers wrong. But
Well, you also admitted that it was all part of like at least parts of it were sensationalized for the documentary, but sure.
We have a pretty decent relationship, and I told him anything he ever wants me in on, let me know. And he pitched an idea with this EDP segment where I went up there and
Oh, get out of here! You probably clumbed your pants when he offered you that. You probably jumped at the opportunity to get like a little bit of a surge. What are you talking about? Yeah, just hit me up if you have anything. I know you were begging, Boogie. I know you're like, Uncle, please, if you have anything for me, please.
Sat down with EDP and told him what I thought about him. And so I took the opportunity to do that. Also, I got paid for the travel and free trip to Cleveland, nice hotel up in Cleveland and stuff like that. So here's the thing. I'm
sure EDP did too. Because I know that guy was on like, I think it was Gideon's stream, and he's like, I'm not going to do anything unless you pay me like $200. So there's no way he didn't get paid.
Sat down with EDP, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this makes you look like a pedophile. But I'm not a pedophile, so I don't care if I look like one. I don't really care. I know I'm not one. So I felt not particularly uncomfortable with that aspect. And if I get the opportunity to sit down and say to a pedophile what I think about them, I'm going to take that opportunity.
Why?
Dude, I pulled up
Why
the
would
one
you take
tweet
that
that wilded
opportunity?
me out. It's like, once you get past his comedy, he said, once you get past what he did, his comedic sense is good. What was that?
Oh my God,
he is
dude.
Wait, what?
surprisingly charismatic to some degree.
Wait, is he talking about EDP? I feel like it hurts when you go, I went there so I could tell him how much I didn't like him. And then we realized that you had enough of a conversation with EDP to realize that he has some level of charisma. It's like, what? Which one is it? Did you sit down with him to get an epic dunk slam on him? Or did you sit down with him, talk to him, and then slam him once for the documentary? Because now I'm imagining this is the conversation. Oh, hey, what's up? Like, how you doing, EDP? Oh, I'm good. How are you? It's like, hey, listen, for the sake of this conversation, I got to dunk on you. For the sake of the documentary. He's like, shit, you know, man. And then I don't know, something saying the N-word probably a lot, and then he says poop. He shows him his poop or something. I can't do an EDP accent because then it'll be too racist, and I can't handle that cancellation. But it kind of feels like, what's the tone here? What's the tone in Soprano?
If you didn't know what he had done, if you did not have that in the back of your mind the whole time you're looking at him, I think he'd be a chill person.
You're saying you were just thinking about kids the whole time? You're just kidding.
I will also say he ain't all there.
Well, he's like horribly unhealthy, and as like a fat person myself, like it's not like that. It actually does like rot your brain. Like it kind of makes you slower and rots your brain. I've been getting better now that I've been going to the gym. But it kind of rots your brain, man. Like it makes you think slower. It makes you like you react slower. I don't know. It's like kind of different.
And I'm not the kind of person that's going to show pity to much of anybody if I can help it once they've done what he's done. And I'm trying to wait till all the full documentary's out and give a full evaluation and the whole nine. I'm going to do everything I can to like. It's really hard to reserve any judgment, right? But at the end of the day, the guy is kind of like 8th grader intelligence level. Like he's clearly.
What
not all there,
about
man.
reserving judgment or withholding judgment? Hasn't all this stuff already like happened? This documentary is not going to like prove that he is or is not a pedophile.
I mean, yeah, he definitely. I think having had a conversation with a guy, I don't know that it's more that he was minor attracted or more that he just is a disgusting, depraved human being. I think.
All right. I think I could actually. Interesting. I'm going to keep listening. I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah,
Does that matter? Does that matter?
Having also had a conversation with him, he's really stupid.
Yeah, he's
and
extremely
he's a massive freak narcissist, like a lot of creators specifically.
Does it matter? So the question of does it matter? It doesn't matter to like the normal person. If you wanted to have like an interesting, conversation, like a fucking psychological conversation about the motivations for people to do disgusting things, then it could be interesting. Like my wife would probably find that conversation interesting as a behavioral specialist. You guys know. From like a clinical conversation of like, okay, what is somebody's motivation for talking to like a kid? Are they actually attracted to kids, or are they so pathetic, disgusting, stupid, and like loserish that they will talk to anybody that gives them attention, right? Or they'll go outside of what's like generally appropriate to get attention, right? When it's obviously massively, disgustingly inappropriate. I don't think it matters. Like I don't think the rope cares, if you know what I'm saying. But it's an interesting conversation generally if you remove EDP from it of like, oh, like what's the motivation for some people's motivations to do like these kind of disgusting things. It can be an interesting conversation. So like, yeah, sure. I mean, that's certainly interesting. I mean, if the tone of the documentary is focused on that kind of stuff, that will be an interesting documentary. I will say that would be a very interesting documentary from Mr. Klum.
Minecraft YouTubers are.
God,
Seems
we
like.
were going
Please
Wait,
tell
don't
me
go
you make a
there
Minecraft.
Hey, the most recent Minecraft YouTubers, George not found, innocent. Innocent, I say. Fuck out of here.
Wait. I have too many questions.
I don't like. If I make one, it'll be outdated in 1 minute.
True.
Takes
I
me like
just
4
want to
days.
make one and say ask for consent. That's all.
Jesus, bro.
No, continue ahead. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say.
I don't think people were criticizing you that you met up with EDP
Shut the fuck up, Nux. I'm just kidding.
because that must mean you're a file too. It's the giving him the
some people
time
said
of
that.
day.
Those people
It's
really
the-
did say that. Nux.
Okay, but I'm not talking about
Yeah.
anonymous Twitter people that don't actually matter at all.
Yeah, those
I'm
people
talking
are really
about,
stupid.
I'm talking
I
about
mean, when you sit on Twitter all day, it's probably the only thing that matters to you, you know?
people that actually would face repercussions if they call someone a pedophile, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, like, I don't think anyone there that actually has some sort of either online presence or something like that called you a pedophile for being seen with EDP.
I mean,
I think people called it really weird. Like, it's a weird angle, clout angle to take.
Well, yeah, for sure. Especially since you're having what looks like a nice, cordial McDonald's dinner, you know? By the way, go to Applebee's. I think Chili's does this too. $11 for an entree and a drink from 12 to 3 p.m. every day, during the weekdays at least. It's an incredible thing. I got a Diet Coke and I got a chicken bacon ranch sandwich, and I got broccoli instead of fries. I'm trying to do a little better, you know?
It's like
Small choices.
you're literally going up against probably the most justifiable person to have beef with, you know, a pedophile, most hated type of person on the planet for good reason.
And go have beef with them. That's the entire goal. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a
Yeah, but then like when you say like, oh, well, that's to have beef with them, that's the entire goal. It makes it seem like your number one concern is views for yourself and like virtue signaling rather than like actually having a positive impact. And like I said, the positive impact would be to just stop engaging with EDP or you know. Anyway, so you know, if that's the whole point, I don't know. I just don't respect that general behavior and attitude. I just think it's kind of like stupid. I don't think it's really productive.
Mike Klum production. So just like the job interview on my thing was kind of staged and kind of funny, meant to be comic relief. The comedy club bit was meant to be comic relief. Me and EDP did film something that will be comic relief. We did film a sketch before we got into the interview part, and I'm sure that will play poorly for me.
Yeah, see, it's like, why would you have like a core? That's the stuff, and if that's what we see, and I'm going to reserve most like a significant amount of my judgment. But if you're there and like 5% of it is you telling him, you're speaking your mind to him, and the rest of it's you having a grand old time with the guy, like what respect? Like it's just you're gonna like lose a significant amount of like. I mean, people are gonna think even worse of you, and they already do. So.
Even makes it the cut, probably, yeah. But obviously, no spoilers there, NDAs and all that stuff. I want to maintain a good relationship with Mike. But at the end of the day, I think the biggest argument that
who's got all this keyboard sound going on? It's not me.
I saw against it is why are you platforming EDP? And the answer is I'm not. He's never going to be on my channel.
Okay, but like you're taking part in the platforming of EDP. Like I said, Mike Klum, he's not like a YouTube drama guy. So for him, it's like I would say I would put like a little bit of a different tone on there. He's more of a normal person, like whatever. So I don't necessarily blame him as much, but like you know better. And if the tone, if the you said is anything other than like you're a disgusting person when you meet up with him, then like that's going to look very poorly for you because it's going to be it's going to be pathetic. Like, it's going to be some loser shit. It's going to be you impressively somehow, you know, sinking your credibility even lower, which I don't even think was possible.
I'm not promoting him. It's Mike Klum. You want to be mad at somebody, you should be mad at Mike. He's the one filming the documentary.
Yeah, it just sounds like you're really. It sounds like he's kind of setting the stage. It's gonna be a bad look for Boogie. You don't blame Mike. You're a grown man. You made the decision to go on there.
And like,
I love how he's like a friend, and you're just like,
it's like
this guy.
if you're gonna send me hate, send him hate instead.
If you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at the guy who.
If this is a punishable offense, kill that guy. My friend, by the way, good terms.
Look. Is Muda hard?
Yeah, like at least own it. Just be like, yeah, I did it for content or whatever. But like to sit here and be like, no, it's my friend. Actually, if you're gonna be mad, please don't be mad. Shut the fuck up. This is what we're talking about. It's like that weird fence sitting behavior.
Kind of person that won't call one of his friends out on their shit. If you want to be mad at Mike for if you want to be mad at somebody for platforming EDP, you got to be mad at Mike. Right?
No, you would be mad at you and Mike, but you more because you're the legacy YouTuber that has a better understanding of these like atmospheres. What are you talking about?
Dude,
I'm not
you just said Muda wouldn't be. He's the type of guy that would be mad at one of his friends if they did that shit. So you would be mad at Mike for platforming EDP.
No, I don't give a fuck what Mike is doing. In fact, I think based on
you're obviously supporting it. Like
the scenes that I know from what Mike has filmed, it's going to be an entertaining piece of work to begin with.
Right, well, we'll see what we'll just see when we see it.
But on top of that, I think the entire point of the documentary is to put EDP through the ringer, which is what the man deserves, right?
All right. Well, we can't really talk about what he deserves, but We'll see what we can. We'll just see. We'll see what happens when it happens.
What,
So I think-
more ringer? Okay, you
I feel-
said
no, well, okay.
I don't know if he actually put him through the ringer or if this is more of just like a oh no, like actually trying to justify the bad behavior. I don't know. We'll see.
this is reserved.
From what I've
right?
from what I've had a discussion, the kind of stuff that could come out in this documentary, EDP's whatever legal counsel he has is not happy that this documentary even got filmed.
Yeah, you probably
Interesting. Hey, Benjamin Max, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Again, you don't have to keep doing that, brother. Every stream. I think you're up to like 20 or 25, maybe even 30. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that, but you don't have to keep donating. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying I appreciate it. But okay, that's interesting. I wonder what insight or like behind the scenes insight that the Mudahar has that we don't. What the fuck was that?
shouldn't be.
Like it's it is actually really bad for him.
Yes.
His brother
some of the stuff that
is his legal counsel.
Interesting.
wait, well,
His cousin or some shit.
Okay, but like, hey, if you got an attorney's badge, it still counts, you know. But like, no, it's bad for it. It's going to be bad for
ChatGPT.
EDP regardless, right? Because
Yeah, right.
Apparently-
ChatGPT, right? Oh, fuck, I'm a boomer.
from what I've heard,
We spent a half an hour just trying to set up a new key binding on a fucking computer so we could do this. I'm terrible. I don't know anything.
there's a lot of stuff that is coming out that is it's some of the statements.
I mean, if the Mike Klum documentary does, end up putting more evidence onto EDP, that could be a really, I never thought it would happen. Maybe Mike was able to get it. Maybe Boogie was part of pulling something off that was very positive. I don't know.
that he's making is just
I'm still uneasy about like the platforming somebody like that without the intention of trying to get them taken down. Then again, I guess we do have documentaries about fucking serial killers, so
buries him even more. And it lines in what Boogie's saying is that he's like mentally like just not there.
Yeah.
And he never was, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's the I guess general sense that we're kind of going for with the EDP stuff. I don't personally care about the platforming side of things. Tons of scummy people get platformed.
Yeah.
However, just because somebody is on a channel doesn't necessarily mean that
You're
their
supporting
depiction
him
is going to
for
be it's not a positive depiction. I have platformed tons of scammers. Doesn't mean that I sit down and say go ahead.
Can't
The whole
believe you
platforming-
platformed Jeffrey Epstein like that, Mudahar. Damn.
Dude,
based. Hey, thank you so much, Truth Speaker, for the 10 gifted memberships. Why do you guys are going crazy lately, dude? I appreciate it, genuinely. You don't have to do that, though. I forgot to check something. I appreciate that, guys.
platforming is such just a nonsensical. It's like the quickest, easiest way to say something negative that most people will probably agree with, and also be on the side of like virtue.
Yeah.
It's like the quickest, easiest way to just like say something and be like, oh, you shouldn't do
You've
that.
platformed an evil man. Why is that bad?
Exactly.
Who cares? You've done it.
Today's episode of the podcast is sponsored by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search for your name and absolutely creeped out by the
I
amount
don't even remember how to spell my fucking name, brother.
of information that's been flowing around about you
All right, guys, this is Aura. We're going to skip it.
on the internet?
We'll
Your
see what
date of
the... Okay, guys, you can get all your stuff off the internet. Your date of birth, your Aura, any pictures of you looking like that. Aura.com/SomeOrdinaryPodcast. Incredible stuff. Link in the description under sources.
today.
Mike a lot.
I will say one more thing about Mike Klum while we're on the topic.
Is
I
he
like
handsome?
Mike a lot.
Yeah, I like Mike.
Yeah,
a lot.
he's a good dude.
I think he's a good dude. He is weird as shit, and that's coming from me. So I know some real weirdos. But I think he means extremely well in terms of for the YouTube ecosystem. He didn't mean well for me necessarily. He didn't mean well for definitely doesn't.
Oh, stop it. What do you mean he didn't mean well for you? Get the fuck out of here. Hey, thank you so much, ATP Snappy, for the $2. You're cute, Papa God. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Mean well for EDP or anybody else he films with. Like if you up, he's going to call you out on your shit, right? Like that's a good thing.
Yeah, sure.
But for the YouTube ecosystem, I think Mike is very good for that. The other thing is he's a bit of a
Maybe. I mean, I liked his video. I thought it was pretty cool. It was interesting. I think it's always interesting when a non-YouTuber comes in and does YouTube stuff. And like I would consider myself kind of like I'm a YouTuber, but like with the mentality. It's like Mike is like a normal dude. He's a documentarian coming in here. He doesn't necessarily have the social biases or understanding of what people do or don't want in a good way. Like he doesn't have the obnoxious like, okay, I know if I say this is how it'll be interpreted. And he's just like, okay, this is what I'm going to put it out there. You know what I mean? Like he does sensationalize a little bit according to Boogie, but it's not the same as like trying to virtue signal, I guess, to an atmosphere. That's the interesting thing. Thank you so much, Q-Ro, for the $2. £2. Who needs a legal counsel when you have Boogie? Incredible stuff.
perfectionist as well. Like we talked about some of the other projects he's got in the works, and we all know
Stop him from getting
publicly
your
that
numbers
How's the bit rate, guys?
wrong.
he definitely got some numbers wrong. I'm not gonna lie. But he like the DSP thing that fell apart. I'm hoping that one still works out. But I know for a fact he's told me he's got a couple of things in the can that he finished that he did not feel were like important enough or big enough to follow up the one we did. Like mine did 5 million. He wants to do 10 million on the next. And I think the EDP thing is the best way to do it. But I think in the end, that guy's going to be one of the most prolific YouTubers. And I think
maybe
what he's doing is probably good for the ecosystem. I hope so in the end.
Yeah, nothing.
I think the best part about Mike is like he's got like Mike has gotten as much trust out of people as Oompa and Nux have, because without even thinking, what's so up, and I thought about this before filming today. I'm like, I gave the dude my home address immediately. You know, like he's like, Muda, what's
who's that?
your address?
Mike Klum
Coming over. I'm like, oh, here it is. And I'm like, wait. You know, normally I would not do that.
Oh, like Oopaville.
That's fun. Okay, cool. Yeah. And he shows up like on time, super professional. Like, you know, I'm from the same like industry, or at least worked in the same one. So when he was like striking and like doing all the setup in my house, I'm like, dude, I can help out. He's like, no, you're like talent. I'm like, dude, he's like the nicest dude. He's like the chillest guy in the world. Absolutely love his stuff.
Or maybe it's Mike Klum. Okay, interesting.
And I definitely think he's gonna go places. He's like the one guy producing content on the platform that's like, he manages to somehow get people that you would never expect. Like, I could never in a million years get like EDP on my channel, just because I know that he hates me. I know that he hates.
Well, I mean, he's also going to ask for tons of money. You know what I mean? He's gonna beg for money. Be like, I'm only going to come on if you give us money, you know, or give me money.
It's pretty much all of us at this point, but like, Mike is able to somehow convince this guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mike's not a YouTuber, so it makes sense
to get on.
And also, like, it's the fact that his content isn't just kind of commentating things that bleed into the public. He is actually finding things and making them public. It's not like, you know, commentary YouTuber. Every Minecraft YouTuber today seems like they're all bite and no bark. Right, like it's like a very, very different situation. You know, he's actually figuring it out. He's doing the journalism side.
When will his Minecraft documentary takedown come out? Because it is now confirmed. Everyone who's ever played Minecraft is a baby. Is that what we figured out today?
I mean,
like what? What are you talking about, Boogie? You're somebody that people constantly give you fucking false pedophile accusations against, and you haven't even like looked into the Minecraft shit. It's like overwhelmingly a nothing burger in like all of the instances. Like, it's definitely George is not found was literally nothing. She's fucking that Caitlyn girl's crying over getting tickled. I really don't like her. She's a fucking disrespect to every single person who's a survivor of actual sexual assault, not getting tickled after cuddling for an hour consensually. Then there's the puns guy. That was a big stupid nothing. They had a toxic relationship. They were both pieces of shit. Whatever. I've been there before. And then the Wilbert Soot thing, I don't know, maybe, or maybe like he would bite her. Sometimes it's not good. In my opinion, another toxic relationship that's being like sensationalized on the internet and called abuse. Like, so like, I don't know. Then what do we got? Dream, just a fucking weird guy that didn't like, who's like, you know what I mean? Like, there are some weird Minecrafters, but like the wave of allegations lately are just like, it's woke fatiguing the fuck out of everybody. It's so annoying. It's fucking ridiculous. You know, that's what's happening. Like all these people come out with their stupid bullshit stories, and people get fatigued on it. They get fatigued on like caring about shit. And they're like, okay, like they're tired of extending charitability to people. So,
how's it? Big claim. Big claim.
I mean, hey, listen. I think the age is a little higher than 0 to 1. I think it's maybe closer to like 10, 11, 12. Okay, so all
have you ever
aside,
considered, though, that maybe they're just minor attracted people and deranged instead of
I wish we could take that word out of the lexicon. Never have I hated a word so hard as minor attracted. Yeah. Like when you said that, I was like, I wanted to like punch myself. I'm like, there's no such thing as like minor attraction. All right, listen, if you've never committed a crime, go seek help. But
sure,
if you have, go straight to the gallows. What the
100%.
Like,
yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't really care about the label minor attracted. I think that for a lot of people, it's I think it's a little too it paints pedophiles in too good of a light. You know, it's like trying to be nice to pedophiles. You know, it's kind of weird. You know, and I understand if people get therapy before they commit, they're probably less likely to commit. So I understand it of like, hey, let's create a more comfortable atmosphere. But I just worry that we tread too close to the to making it almost seem like it's bad to be a pedophile. You know what I mean? It's like it's bad, even if you can't control it. It's still a bad thought. You know, it's a bad thing, and I don't want to get too close to like, oh, it's not so bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, sure, I guess so.
Like the whole waiting for the EDP documentary to come out to reserve judgment or whatever, bro. There is nothing that can cure my perception of this guy.
Yeah, I mean, no curing. I just want to know how bad it actually is. That's what I want to know. I want to know, is it just what I've heard, or does it get worse? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, and the thing is like what really scares me about people like EDP is like the no remorse. Like I remember months ago when you had your interview with EDP, Caleb, you didn't even release it because you were just like, man, this is just too up. And I feel like it takes a lot to do that to you, where you're like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I feel like you can almost make any topic hilarious or any interview that you do. And you can always make you can always make somebody look dumb on your channel, right? Or like, you know, you can make them walk into a trap. And it's like, when you were telling me, it's like, when you were telling us on the show, it's like EDP, when you interviewed him, it's like, there's just nothing good out of it. Like you were actually like angry coming out of that interview. And it's like, there's just no sympathy.
Well, I mean, at least he didn't release it. You know, if he felt like it would, probably shouldn't have tried to take it in the first place, but hey, at least he didn't release it. I wonder how much of a train wreck it would have been.
Your remorse that this guy has, which I think arguably is like the worst thing that anybody can do. So yeah, when like, I guess when we saw you in that, it was just like, man, you're sitting down and you're like breaking bread with this guy. It's like, it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, if you're not going, like, I don't believe in the platforming bullshit. I really think you should be able to make a video about any topic. And
well, yeah, you can make a video about anything, but people are going to judge you based on it.
As long as you can discern and make a conscious effort to tell people, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit, right?
For sure.
Like, there's one thing.
That's not platforming. Making fun of someone is not platforming them.
No. I also, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, he's a human being. And so I tried to show him the respect that I would show any human being.
Boogie's sweating so bad. He's sweating so bad. You hear? Oh, yeah. Like everybody else is like, yeah, EDP's such a scumbag. And Boogie's like, well, you know, he's still a person. And he's not saying that because he sympathizes with EDP, just to be clear. Like, he's not sympathizing with EDP. He's saying that because he's nervous and he realizes that like Boogie's gonna look like a real fucking real piece of dog shit in this, and whatever comes out. You can already tell he's gonna look so bad. He's gonna be like overly nice to EDP. It's gonna be like I wouldn't even doubt that these motherfuckers have a nice cry session together. I don't know. So I don't know, man. It's just like he's really setting it up. He's like, yeah, I treat him like a person. Why? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you shouldn't have done it then. You shouldn't have even talked to him. What do you mean, where the fuck am I? Oh, I'm in my basement. Hey, thank you so much for the 5-month small gut, Brion. How you doing? New setup is nice, but needs stuff in the background. Yep, I do. I just moved everything downstairs. I put a lot of work into getting everything set up, so I kind of just wanted to stream more than anything else before I get a background going. But you're right, brother. How you doing?
I don't know. But it was extremely difficult in that situation. I don't know how it came across. I'll have to go to the footage to know for sure. And I do want to say the reason I use the phrase minor attracted is not because I'm like politically leftist and I think I think being attracted to a 14-year-old is just as bad as being attracted to a 4-year-old. And so
that's the dumbest fucking thing. That might be the dumbest thing you've ever said. What?
I think being attracted to a 14-year-old is just as bad as being attracted to a 4-year-old.
Dude, what are you talking about? Like, they're all bad, and I wouldn't like really want to sit here and compare demons, but like being attracted to a 4-year-old is like objectively worse than a 14-year-old. No, what are you talking about? What do you mean? It's just it's so weird to even get into this conversation, but like, why even say something like that? That's just not true. It's exponentially like a 14-year-old has certainly more ability to escape you than a 4-year-old. What do you mean? I don't even know. This is a weird. I don't even know how we're in this conversation. What are you talking? But like, what are you talking about? Like, who? First of all, who brought? Why would you bring it up? And second of all, what? No. Okay.
And so I lump all of these guys in. I know people try
what the fuck are you talking about?
Hebephile, this file. I don't know. You're all just disgusting people. So in my
what are you talking about? Okay, you're the one that apparently like had a nice time with the fucking actual pedophile. What are you talking about?
Opinion. If you are minor attracted at all, I don't care. 14, 12, 10, 5.
Oh, I see what he's doing. He said minor attracted so that he could be more politically correct, and now he feels stupid about it. So now he's making up this whole thing about how he thinks all of it's bad. I don't know. This whole thing is like weird.
One, you're a still disgusting monster, and I'm just going to call y'all one big thing, and that is minor attracted.
I think
or you could just call them all pedophile. I guess. Like, I don't understand why, but okay, go off, King.
The phrase minor attracted just like implies a certain level of sapience and like how you have a lot of understanding of like it's a science almost when you say minor attracted. It makes it seem like you're well read and learned in terms of being a pedophile. That's why I think it's
probably more like a clinical thing, like a clinical perspective is potentially shifting towards minor attracted. To have like a like harm reduction to actual children, because like, you know, if you provide, this is like one of the problems, like if you provide the ability for a person that hasn't engaged in the act to be able to come forward and get mental health help, it's going to reduce the chance that they're actually going to offend and molest somebody else. There's also a lot of people who are pedophiles that were like molested as kids. And then like lastly, when you put too strict of punishment onto child molesters, it makes it harder for the child being molested to come forward, because a lot of times the child, and like we should send them to an island, right? Ideally, but like a lot of times what happens is like the kid, like a lot of times it's like a family member or like a friend of the family. It's like, oh, my uncle is like molesting me. But I know if I tell on him, like they're gonna put him to death, so I have to just bear with it because I don't want to be the reason Uncle, Bingle dies. And that just contributes to even more trauma because there's more guilt for the kid, and then it's a very complicated topic. So I think from a mental health perspective, it's trying to gravitate in a way that is harm reduction for children, which makes perfect sense. For the average person, even like myself, I just am so uncomfortable with it. Or they kill the child. Yeah, exactly. Like if you gave the death sentence to somebody who molested a kid, the likelihood of them killing the kid is exponentially higher. Right, so there's like a lot of uncomfortable, tough conversation to have when you talk about this topic. I think for the average person like myself, it's just like I don't even, I'm never going to use minor attracted because just no. But I understand that it's a clinical term. I understand that I'm uncomfortable with the general sentiment, like I think most people are about.
They're not a good. I think file just encompasses anyone really.
Yeah, I think Caleb, also it's just
Caleb,
it's a weird,
I think you should
yeah.
unzip your libtard brain for a moment and listen to this empirically correct.
Exactly. Uncle Bingle would never do that.
Fact I'm about to spit at you.
Uncle Bingle, not my bingle hole. No. Okay, that was too much. My bad.
That quote so much.
So
but I also think like that kind of phrasing is just like it like softens the blow for what is and it should always be an incredibly serious topic and subject.
It should be derogatory. It should be an epithet, a slur.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
The only slur that's okay. We need a pedo is a slur, I think, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is the worst thing you can say to somebody. Yeah. It's the worst thing you can say about anybody. 100%.
I mean, most slurs do have definitions.
Nowadays, it isn't. I don't really care. People call everybody pedophiles in the end. Everybody's a groomer. Everybody's a pedophile. Everybody's a fucking rapist nowadays on the internet. Those words like lost significant value and meaning, to be honest with you. It's unfortunate because now when actual disgusting people exist, what do we call them? We can't say the N-word. What do we call them? I'm just kidding. Sorry.
It's true, but I don't know. I feel like okay, whatever.
Like if you just like Latin would just be like wouldn't that just be like a young person? Like pediatrician, ped?
No, podiatry is like the doctor for children, right? A podiatrist.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like if you want.
Pretty sure a podiatrist is a foot doctor. A pedi. Oh no, it's a special. Really, what am I thinking of? It's a baby care. What am I thinking of? Of a. Interesting. What am I thinking of? What is a foot doctor? I'm a fucking idiot. What is a foot doctor called? Oh no, it's a podiatrist for feet, ankle, and a podiatrist is a foot doctor. Okay, pediatrist is a baby doctor. Merge them together, you kick the baby. It's incredible stuff.
Want to go like that?
Yeah.
A pedo could be
But isn't
really.
file someone that wants to have sex with that? Right?
A file is someone who has like not an obsession, but
attraction to that type of thing.
Sure,
yeah, I suppose because there's audio files, there's all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
And audio files it's not sexual in any way. It's someone who likes. I'm an audiophile.
I jack off to the music all the time, bro. What the fuck? I don't know. You speak for yourself, brother.
Oh,
you like waves? You like waves? Big waves, bro.
Yeah, bro.
No, but in all seriousness, like the whole EDP arc, it's like it's come to. I don't know if after the Mike Klum stuff, anybody could make anything that tops that kind of nonsense.
To be honest, if the Mike Klum thing doesn't wind up with this guy in jail, like
he has just cockroach luck, bro.
Dude, it's just content, and dude, it's not going to change my opinion on him.
I'll tell you where EDP is going to end up. That guy's going to end up in a morgue real soon.
I just don't believe a word the Boogie says. I feel like he just says things in the hopes that people like him. He's gonna do more rules. Okay, sure, hopefully, but like, what do you like? I don't think you think that. I just think that he's so weird.
Is that a threat?
No, I'm telling you, he is like I'm dying. He's really dying.
Oh, okay. I thought he was making a threat. Maybe I gooned too close to the sun on that one. But yeah, no, I think he has a kidney failure. I'm surprised he's still alive, man.
Didn't Gideon run into him at a dialysis clinic?
Yeah.
That dude needs dialysis 3 days a week or he will die. He's on the kidney transplant list. He ain't going to get one. He needs to lose like 300 pounds to get on it.
Holy shit. They need to execute this guy quick for it to mean something.
Again, Mike, forgive me for saying this, but he came straight from dialysis to the shoot. And that dude
why would that be an issue?
Would not stop bleeding. I don't know if they have him on a bunch of blood thinners or I don't know what else, but that dude was bleeding the whole time we filmed.
It kind of makes sense that he would take public appearances at this point because then the writing is probably on the wall for him. And he's like, I might as well make whatever couple $100 or $1,000 that Mike Klum will give me,
From the dialysis port or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. Like I'm like, this dude is not just dying soon. This dude's dying tonight.
That's up, bro. Holy shit.
And still, he ate as much as McDonald's.
Might be pretty cool though, Mike. What if he's like suffering every day? That's kind of funny if you think about it.
In the little scene, like obviously it was like it's 2 hours old, cold and nasty, right? But like Mike wants us to eat for the
How much McDonald's did you eat? Let's be honest here.
I took 2 or 3 bites of a cheeseburger for the bit, and then out of nervousness during the set down, I ate like 2 donuts and an apple pie. And he ate
I think that you ate more than that, Boogie.
as much as I did, if not more. And
So holy shit, this documentary is just killing him. You're giving him all sorts of... That's the plan. That's the meta.
When I get nervous, I feel like my stomach cuts off.
Yeah.
Like whenever I see people in movies, I watched Fury last night, and they were all yelling at each other, and they were still eating while they were upset with one another. I was just thinking of how I could never possibly eat in any sort of situation of duress or.
When I get upset, my penis gets hard. I gotta jack off. I don't know what I'm doing with my life anymore.
I eat when I'm anxious.
I'm uncomfortable, guys. I'm anxious. I'm in a new atmosphere. I'm in a new environment. You gotta leave me alone. Give me a break.
I eat when I'm sad. I eat when I'm mad. If I could eat while I was asleep, I'm pretty sure I would do it.
It's called a food addiction, brother.
Why?
Is that like, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
You sound like
You hungry? Something?
Eat-a-file.
That was actually funny.
I'm definitely hungry, man. I'm hungry all the time.
Nice.
It's miserable.
No, but
You ever try eating like a nutrient dense food, like a piece of broccoli or something? That might make you feel a little better, or fill you up a little bit, or what?
But like, at the end of the day, with the whole EDP stuff, with all of his shit, he's.
Oh, do you get a lot of blood thinners on dialysis? That makes sense.
I'm glad you mentioned the whole like 3 days dialysis, because that's one thing that Mike even mentioned to me. I'm like, when I found out about like all of it, I was like, that's just really bad. Like my uncle who passed away like years ago, he was on dialysis most of my life because of a kidney issue.
Yep, I had an aunt that was on dialysis. It was unfortunate because my uncle gave her a kidney, and then she was on she had her own unfortunate addictions, is what we'll say. It's unfortunate stuff, brothers. She unfortunately passed away, and it is what it is, man. Sad stuff.
And he wasn't even going through dialysis all that much, even in his age. It was like, but
the
and the thing is about like EDP, it's like from what I've heard, he's like so happy-go-lucky about a circumstance. He's like, I'll just end up getting a surgery later. I'm like, you don't really get to do it on the last day of your life, I mean, you never know what the last day of your life looks like, right?
Yeah, the severity of his situation, and again, I think this goes with what Oompa's saying. Like he's not all there, right? I said that too. The severity of his situation is clearly not there. I don't think he realizes this is his swan song. This Mike Clone documentary, he may not live to see it uploaded, and I don't think he really understands that.
I'm getting so fucking pissed.
I mean, maybe that's for the best at the end of the day.
Yeah,
karma.
You can't hurt anybody else when you're in a pine box. So.
Well, moving on.
I can't do it. I could punch through the box like a fucking ninja.
From like the
turtle
EDP side of things, let's move to people that are a little interested in an older demographic. The Minecraft YouTubers currently that have been trending for the last, I would say, week and a half. I want to be just like brutally up there.
Yeah, something like that. The Wilbur stuff started, I think, before we recorded the last episode.
You guys see that? What they said about Wilbur's room?
Wait, what did they say about him?
Somebody said some shit. I've read it. I have not kept up with any of this, by the way. But every single day I see more, and I'm like, all right, this makes sense. And Wilbur apparently,
it was like really dirty. He was like disgusting. Like he didn't take care of himself, and depended on his like online girlfriend or whatever too.
According to this, I don't even need to say allegedly because it equates to him having a messy room. But someone who was with him at some point said that his bathroom would stink, and he would like spill stuff on the ground and not clean it up ever. Like he was the most messy person that this person had ever been with. It's
so interesting. Like if you're dating somebody that disgusting, I'm not trying to be rude, why the fuck are you continuing to date that person? Like that's just wild to me.
Thought was hilarious for some reason.
Wait, YouTuber doesn't clean up their house?
But like to like a pigsty level, to like literally
at
leaving
least
stuff spilled on the ground.
does not play Minecraft. Let's go.
Yeah,
dude. What's really wild? It's like the amount of people that I know in this YouTube space that are like the most filthiest people on the planet. I just don't understand it. Like I've never truly understood that. It's like I think all of us keep our houses relatively clean, right?
Yeah, I have a wife, so she helps me care about that.
I got shit around.
If your house is dirtier than mine, that's surprising to me. And like the worst case is like I'm a huge Asmongold Gold fan, and every time.
Why? Are you really? Or are you just saying that?
Time I see photos of his house, it really creeps me out, and that's saying something because I grew up in like a roach infested rat hole. So it's.
Did you grow up in the Bronx or something?
I don't know what. I don't understand. Like you can afford a cleaner. You have somebody come in and fix your.
It's like there's this one Roblox YouTuber or streamer, and they're just like the filthiest pig I've ever seen.
Yeah, I saw that guy. I made a video about him. Yeah,
dude. And I don't understand how you can get that filthy. Like if I have something out of place in my house, like I don't even know if I have like OCD or whatever. Like I don't know if there's like a diagnosis you can get for that, but it's just like usually with me and stuff like that, anytime something is like a little bit up in my house,
think that's just called being responsible.
It's just like I feel absolutely shit about it. So when I don't know, I've never found like I love playing
Money. Yeah, maybe that's why they stayed for money.
video games. I really do. I think most of us here love video games, but it's like I've never had video games ever consume my level of like cleanliness away from me. That's just weird.
Yeah.
I had an ex who was like addicted to games and it fucked their cleanliness up. So yeah.
I mean, like it's pretty apparent if you look behind me. I don't mind stuff being junked up. I don't mind having a stack of magic cards on a table that sits there for a month. I don't care. That's fine. But when it starts to get dusty, that's a problem for me. But when it comes to actual filth, rats, roaches, like food substances, dog mess, all of that stuff, I can't leave it there for 5 minutes.
Well, you know, it kind of makes sense. So, like, let's say, you know, you're in your house and you kind of just eat and you leave the dish on the floor and rats get in there, and then you have something else to eat, you know?
It has to get picked up.
Also, the irony is, like, these people are really rich. Like, they can hire someone to do this shit for them.
I mean, that involves, like, spending money, though. Like, that I've always found, like, okay, so coming from, like, a household that, like, it's not like we were ever poor. I don't want to ever say that. We were well. But it's just always, like, when you come from, like, a place where you don't ever have, like, the rich, fun money, I don't think you ever walk away from like spending a lot more. Like I always find out that my frugality carries over. Like I buy nice stuff, but I'm generally a very frugal person when it comes to like spending money in and out. Like I feel bad when I buy a video game, you know? Like,
yeah, same.
Yeah, me too. It's funny because I was gonna splurge on like a really nice like ultra wide 45-inch monitor, like LG OLED monitor. It was gonna cost me like $1,300 or $1,400. I'm like, oh fuck it, I'm getting a new setup. I should do it. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I could try to figure out a way to like stream it and make it work. And like I thought about it. This is what happened. That's why I didn't stream yesterday. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna go to Micro Center because I went to Best Buy and saw that. And then I went to Micro Center. I wasn't impressed, so I went to a different Best Buy. We sat probably there for half an hour. Like all together, it was like 3 or 4 hours out, just like staring at the PC. Like, okay, I don't know if I want to buy this. Can I buy this? And like they display models don't like for whatever reason for the one that I was gonna potentially buy, it wasn't hooked up to be able to use it and mess around with it. Especially, so I couldn't see how the setup would work. So I ended up going to Costco today just on a whim. After the gym because it's like $4 for a slice of pizza and a soda and a hot dog. They had like these two 27-inch like you know Samsung curved monitors for $130 each. I was like shit, and I bought these instead. You know, I felt a lot better about the purchase. So I feel that you know. I do like spending money sometimes, though. I like spending money on my wife.
Yeah, like I bought Dragon's Dogma, too. I mean, we know, you know, it's like, I feel bad buying it. I'm like, I can afford it.
I don't buy shit almost ever for myself, unless it's like, you know, food, whatever, car, you know, stuff that I need. And then once I do it, you know, I
don't believe this guy. I think he's just trying to fit in.
Do it right, I guess. I'm not going to skimp out on things that I feel like would actually enhance my life. But anything that's not that, like, I can't.
I don't believe you, dude. I feel like you have like a whole body pillow. Potentially like some kind of a sex suit or a doll or something. I don't know, man. That's the vibe I'm getting from you, brother.
I can't like I'm gonna spend money on this thing that I don't really like need. I could give this money to charity, and then I usually do.
I will warn you.
I don't believe it, dude. Nobody that gives charity brags about it. Okay.
That I grew up the exact same way, and then once that
fuck.
Off, oh my god, I just couldn't.
Bro, we saw the documentary.
Like, yeah, we saw him.
But at least we got honesty from Boogie. Hey, thank you so much for the $2 from Darky Shark. Yeah, Pop if you're CM Punk. Okay, relax. All right, then relax with the CM Punk's nonsense. You son of a bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
But like I'm just saying, don't ever pull that Band-Aid off. Like you live like that, you die like that, because once the money starts flowing, it's you know, my divorce. I mean, I had to cut a check for $250,000 for my divorce. And after I was like, well, if I spend $250,000 today, I can spend $1,000 on magic cards. So I did. And then, you know, I mean,
I guess I kind of get that. I'm paying my ex's student loans off because she refuses to do it. It's like $50,000 plus interest and 12% interest rates. That's a rough one, man. I'm trying to pay that off too. Jesus.
Stop all from there, you know.
That's like
wait, so it was ever since the divorce
that wasn't my like wife or anything, so it's even worse.
The magic card thing really went crazy.
Yeah, I used to buy like a box of every.
Boogie's wife probably deserved whatever money she got because you know putting up a Boogie for that long.
Free new set, which is like $99 in general, and then I did some unboxings prior to that, so I would buy a little bit more when I was unboxing and making the money back. But like the whole hooker thing, the whole traveling thing, all of that money was after I had to cut that check for $250,000. I'm like, you know what? If it goes that easy, let's at least have some fun in the process.
So it's your wife's fault?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
What do you think? I mean, is there the whole money thing, like equating money to being like having an inability, wanting to use money to have fun or like do stuff? To me, it kind of makes sense, right? Because like we're all gonna die. You can't like
not me
hook up a wagon with all your cash in it when you die.
Some religions think you bury yourself with it, bro.
You can't like go. So it doesn't really, money just doesn't really matter at all to me. So that's one thing that I've always had trouble like caring about, I guess. When especially when people, because I'm not like bad with money necessarily. I do buy stuff that I enjoy, but I also am doing quite well because I
want to get one of those Steam Decks or whatever. I don't know if it's exactly a Steam Deck, but I've been thinking about that.
Make also, for every stupid decision that I make multiple, I would hope that would benefit me at some point in the long run, or I take risks to benefit myself in the long run. But like when people,
you're a successful gambler, bro.
What's that?
You're a successful gambler, bro.
I'm a good gambler. I gamble, but not with like slots and shit, but with like employees.
No, I mean, I'm the same way too. Like I have the same belief that you just said, like, but like you die, you don't really carry your bank account.
Who cares, dude?
Yeah, like for me,
like I kind of want to have a nice amount of money for my kids. When I have kids, that would be more of like what I would want to save some of that money for. Like, hey, here, kids, here's some setup for a decent future. It's an incredible thing. It's just me personally, though. But I get what they're saying. I mean, they're so rich, it doesn't even matter. All right, so.
What I usually do with money is I just like reinvest it, and it's like I have money for like my brother, and like I spend money on like family mostly.
Yeah, because it's like
schooling or something. That's it.
Gotta send that money back to India. Am I right, brother? I'm just kidding. Sorry, that was inappropriate.
I see it as after the bills are paid and after after I'm not going to hurt myself or anyone around me, because I do employ a lot of people that I love. So like a majority of my financial responsibility comes from that.
Just kidding.
That rationale. I want to continue to pay the people that I am paying because I like them being around, and their lives are important. So I don't just blow all my money. But like if I have 10 grand and I could put it into a 401k or buy something that I could have a lot of fun with my friends and family with, I'm every single time of that 10 if I get the choice, which is also why I have a CFO now.
Yeah. Well, also though, you have a lot of money. I mean, it's probably a bad habit for the average person.
Every time I get the choice, I'm going to not care about having an additional 10,000.
Yeah. Well, because you're not an average person, where $10,000 is insanely meaningful.
10 numbers go up in my bank account. Like it doesn't. I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, it's a balancing act, right? Like as long as you have safety and security. Once you're beyond that point, like I said, once the bills are paid, once you're going to be...
My bills are paid. Wait, what is it? I pay my bills. Am I quiet or something?
Safe, and you can take care of yourself.
I'm not
and your
mumbling,
loved ones,
dude.
Right? Like at that point, have a little fun.
I feel like if I have children, my mind would probably change as well.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
For me, I don't like acting frugally. I just don't like what that does to people. It's in my blood. What could I say? My grandfather's trained me.
I was going to say it, bro.
Was your grandfather German?
I was waiting. Okay, all right. Listen, the drinking game
continues. But then right after you said something how you donated.
I'm very frugal. Well, I can be. I can be good with my money. When I was younger, because my father is Jewish, I'm ethnically Jewish. I remember I told the story before, but some people may not have heard it. I used to bargain. I used to barter with the ice cream man. It was $1 in ice cream. I'd ask him for 4 for $3. Or I think it was 5 for $4. Either way, I would ask him for a good deal, and eventually he would just get so annoyed with me that he would be like, "All right, fine, fuck off," So I was pretty good. Also, I wonder why I'm so fat. Yeah, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. Got to be money conscious, baby.
Jerry and I was like, "Woo, glad I didn't say it."
Yeah. So, thanks. Saved again.
You're welcome,
bud. My grandfather's basically drilled into me from a very young age.
Damn, that's traumatic, man. I had the same thing with an uncle.
Don't waste money on shit. His big thing was it was a little thing called.
Oh, Jesus, dude! What the hell is your grandfather doing, brother?
A Holocaust. It was crazy, and he survived, which is pretty pog how that happened. Honestly,
I don't know. There's a Holocaust. Add like plus 500 to your financial stats or something. Like,
I'm just saying, you got to be a mad lad to walk out of there alive.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I like that. That makes sense. If it's like a times, like, oh, I was alive in the Great Depression type thing. My great grandmother was like that, to where like she didn't spend any money at all on anything ever.
Yeah.
But like professionally, the worst people I've ever met are people who like money.
Honestly, true.
Oh, like what do you mean like?
That's
like,
it. My grandfather does like money.
Okay.
All right, so
like they love money. No, I understand that everybody needs a good boundary with their money. I mean, if you're poor, you need to save more. But if you got a little bit of money, there's nothing wrong with spending some of it sometimes. Or all the time. Nux is Jewish? Shit, dude. And the other side of me, the German side of me, might love him.
My go-to example. So he ended up in America with nothing, right? Nothing, not even a family. His whole family was wiped out in the Holocaust. Okay.
The way he talks about it is so fucking crazy.
So he basically got there alone, and he made something of himself.
Fucking wiped him, bro.
Like right now, he's almost 100 years old. He's well off. He has a bunch of grandkids. Like honestly, like he's like the most inspiring person in my life, probably. And
damn, maybe he had like a diet or some kind of a trick that kept him alive for so long, dude. Must have been a hell of a cleanse. Wait, no, that's actually not what I meant to say. Cut that out.
You know, he says, I didn't waste money. That's why I have what I have. And he came to America with nothing. It's not like he blew up in some crypto shit, right? Like he just worked his ass off and he made something of himself. And it's just very
I can't
inspiring.
wait for like years down the road when somebody's grandpa is going to be a
Worked his ass off, man. All skin and bones. So hard he worked, you know?
degenerate crypto boss or something.
Oh, God. You know it's going to happen.
like, where's your family's source of wealth? It's like the Kennedys can say, like, oh yeah, we were bootleggers. One guy's like, yeah, my great grandpa just bought a shit ton of Bitcoin. Fucking played it big. I can only wait for that story to come out.
Yeah.
You know, I know a bunch of crypto losers. I only know one crypto winner.
Was that you?
So
Before
Yes.
He was fucking quick with that, boy. Jesus Christ.
yes, definitely me. I'm a multi-billionaire, as we all
No,
know.
I mean, like, what was the whole like crypto? So, like, you know, your finances were a big point of contention. I feel like when it
I
comes
feel
to
like
a lot of people,
I feel like we glossed over the YouTube thing.
like you,
No, like I feel like we glossed over the Minecrafter thing pretty heavily. We were like, yeah, let's talk about Minecrafters, and then we very quickly got off the topic of conversation. It went right to one guy's really dirty, and then they kind of just talked about money, which is it's entertaining. I'm not saying it's not entertaining. I'm just saying it's like, you know, I guess I was a little curious about their thoughts on the topic, but
they like always look into like, you know, your financial history and everything about that. So it's like, I guess it's best to get your record out clean. It's like, what was like your best crypto like payday? Like, what was that kind of like for you?
that's my favorite
So-
candy bar. I love the paydays.
After the divorce, I had about $250,000 left in my name and liquid cash, right?
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a lot of money.
And
After
McJugger
tax?
Nuggets came to me and he's
Yeah.
like, he's like, look, there's no reason not to put the money in there. Look, I made a ton of money off crypto. You can do it too. And he talked me into it with the agreement that if I lost all my money, he'd give it back to me, you know?
I feel like that's just no way I believe that. I don't think I believe that at all. That someone's like, yeah, if you lose your money, I'll just give it all back to you, Boogie. No fucking way.
Yes, he
Like
said
a
that?
written
Yeah.
agreement or...
No, just handshake thing.
Oh.
you know?
Oh, okay. So
I don't think I believe that. I just don't. There's just no fucking way.
in other words,
And
that's bullshit
I'm like,
because
all right,
no
I'll put
one's
my-
that good of a friend, okay?
Yeah. I'll
All
put
right.
my $250,000 in. Let's see what happens. And for a while, I lost a ton. We bought in at like 300. It went down to like 80 for a while. And
What'd
I
you
just
guys buy?
sat on it. Do what?
What'd you guys
Ethereum.
buy out of there? Ethereum?
That was
Okay.
yeah. And so eventually Ethereum went up. And then I joined, this was 2020. I joined this Crypto Bros text chat with like him and I think Lance Stewart was in there, a kid behind the cameras in there. And Jesse was talking money moves. So to this day, if I had just held on to my Ethereum, I'd probably be worth over
You'd be
$1 million.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's not going to give you the money, dude. You fucked up.
But
Shit,
they're
if you
like,
bought Bitcoin right now, high that it's at? Oof.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like, let's get into this thing called storage.
You believe that Boogie believed that? That's fair, actually. That's a reasonable thing to say.
Let's get into this thing called
Like he convinced himself that it was true. Maybe the guy made like an offhanded, silly little goose comment, and he's like, "Yeah, okay." You know?
Unity. Let's make some, short moves.
Let's
And-
diversify our portfolios.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so
Those are the
I
people I
did.
don't like.
I ended up trying
diversifying
Uni-
specifically crypto.
Hey, what's up, cat?
It's specifically crypto.
It's like
Yeah.
most degenerate asset.
And again, keep in mind, I'm not blaming anybody. Like, obviously, I had to hit the buy button.
I would blame
right?
the guy
But-
that said that he promised you your money back. And I mean, I blame you more, honestly, because like,
Yeah,
you're-
obviously, I had to hit the buy button,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's, I take full responsibility. And Jesse's not, unless we signed a contract, Jesse's not responsible for shit. And I bet.
Well, I mean, like it would be, but this is why I don't believe him. It's like a verbal contract is a contract. Now you can't prove it, but like if he actually said that and you actually believed that, you would be like, nah, he should be giving me my money. Excuse me, he should be giving me my money back because he promised he would do that. That's a contract. Like a verbal contract is just as strong as a written one. It's just less provable.
tomorrow, if I hit Jesse up and I'm like, dude, I can't make mortgage. Can you help? I bet he would, right?
Right.
Fortunately, I'm not.
Okay.
There, thank God. And that's even after the falling out me and Jesse had over the whole trans friend shit of his, Emily, and all this stuff. So,
What? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
is there like a story that we were supposed to know? Because you just said that like
yeah,
it
there's
was
a really short version. He had a cameraman who came out as trans, Emily,
Okay.
and Emily like accused him of being like transphobic and like awful to her.
Oh, I think I kind of heard this, and then the guy was response was like, "Dude, they were my friend, so we were just like joking around or something." Yeah, I don't care.
And Emily's like, can you count on me for this? And I'm like, yes. And then
And then you kind of jumped on the bandwagon, even though this is like your best friend. You decided to go and like side with this other person that you don't even really know. Is that what I'm hearing, or what is that?
the interviews, Jesse, basically pointed out a bunch of
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm fucking internet brain.
shit that Emily did that made Emily look very, very bad. And Jesse's like, why didn't you come to me first? And I'm like, I probably really should have. That was a stupid thing to do. I probably shouldn't have just listened to Emily. So at one point,
Was this before?
We invested in.
Was this before or after the crypto thing? Like, were you pissed off that you lost your money, or
storage or uni? And I went from like the $200,000 I had at the moment. It went up to like right at 800,000. Of course, capital gains tax and everything else would have been considerably less. But it was like 850,000. And I went to bed with that total, and I did not set like a sell minimum price because again, nobody's taught me how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I woke up the next morning and it was worth less than my initial investment.
What do you mean nobody taught? I don't know if I believe that either. Nobody taught you how to properly do it, but you're telling us that your friend was like, oh, I'll give you all your money back if you fail. And you're telling me that he didn't give you enough guidance to know to have like a sell cap? Again, I just don't think I believe this. I don't think I believe any of this. Maybe he's just so I can poop brain. He has like poopy brain or something.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I just lost my ass today. So, I mean, yes, $800,000 is a ridiculous amount of money, and it sucks that I lost it, and it sucks that I don't have it. But like Mudahar pointed out the last time we talked about this, realistically, I'm only out my initial seed money. And I think people always vastly overestimated what we old school YouTubers made. Like, I showed this on my stream not too long ago. I made $1.3 million on my YouTube channel across 17 years.
I think it was a lot more than that, actually. Pretty sure it was... First of all, that's very misleading because you're counting your time now after you've like significantly fell off. So like I wouldn't even include this. Second of all, I'm pretty sure like it was way more than that. I'm pretty sure it was upwards of like way upwards. I mean, like he's just gonna say, Mike, fuck the numbers up. But like he said that he got like just as much money in advertisements and revenue. I feel like he's just being dishonest about the amount of money he made. I don't really care. I mean, he could be making more money, but he still doesn't seem to put a particularly high amount of effort into his content. Making like one 15-minute video every fucking 3 days to a week.
Right. So like
it's a decent amount of money if you ask me. But
yeah, it is.
The point,
it comes out to like $80,000 a year, which is blessed,
that
right? Like, that's amazing.
That you'll say something that like opens you up to criticism, and then you'll immediately start the next sentence so quickly that like
oh yeah,
you have to
interrupt
teach
me
us
at
how
any
to do
point.
that.
Interrupt me at any point.
You have to teach us how to do that. That's funny.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
feel free.
I think the
I
one
think he
point
just busted his fucking balls with that one.
$3 million was like, I mean, it's a.
No, I was
like,
even going like further back when you said that. Oh yeah, so I basically didn't lose anything in crypto, and then you immediately started the next sentence with people overestimating how much YouTubers make. Well,
I mean, how much?
Don't give people the opportunity to mention the fact. Well,
hit me.
It was
it
was really weird that you made like a whole video talking about how you lost everything through crypto, when in actuality you just lost the seed money. Like that's a little bad faith.
Well, that was my everything. The reason I said it's my everything.
Got him.
Is because it was my everything. That. Other than the house, which I'm currently still living.
Guys, guess what? My wife is my everything. You guys like it when I'm cringe?
In.
He's saying his seed money was all the money he had
in the whole world. Yeah,
right.
That's everything I own.
You see.
Yeah.
His seed.
Yeah, it's cum money. I like to call it. Yeah, incredible.
Do you guys think that? Do you guys think that?
I don't think you understand, Boogie. I want you to imagine a bit dumb dude from your work gained insane internet fame, Papa God. Yeah, like me. If I gained... Imagine you gained internet fame, Papa God. Oh, now it makes sense.
I do think so, yeah.
17 years. Did you have another job?
No, it's just straight up YouTube. I was on disability when I created my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Right,
how much was that?
$800 a month, minus $100 for Medicare, so $700 a month, give or take.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm assuming he also got like some kind of subsidy as well. Like probably like a reduction in like how much his house costs or something.
Yeah, I grew up dirt poor, and a lot of people forget this. I was technically homeless in the town I now have a home in.
Yeah, and now he just isn't it crazy though? Because I'm pretty sure a significant reason this guy was on disability is because he's so fucking fat. Like, isn't it crazy to be so fat? They're like, yeah, you can't work. I don't know, man. There's something fucking crazy about that. There's something crazy.
In '99, I moved in with my brother. Him and I had a huge falling out. Private personal reasons. I won't like throw my brother under the bus, but I had to get the hell out of there and had nowhere to go. And so my best friend who lives with me now, he gave me a place to sleep. Sometimes I couldn't always get in there because it was a dorm room. You had to have an ID card and stuff, but I was able to keep my shit there, which is nice. And I was able to sleep inside that dorm, and sometimes I'd sneak into other dorms. Sometimes I would sleep in computer labs and stuff at the university. And it was like that for the better part of 6 months. And me and that friend have clawed our way up from nothing together to build what I have now. So I mean, I definitely know what's like.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here. What do you think about that? I just transitioned to a stool because my ass and legs hurt from squatting. Incredible stuff. And I can move the seat and adjust it.
That shit. Utterly.
Where are you from?
Southwest Virginia originally, but I've lived in Arkansas since '95.
Or like Arkansas.
Okay. Where? What part of West Virginia? Blacksburg?
I'll probably move back in like 2 minutes too.
Wise, Virginia, right outside of Wise. Originally St. Paul, and then I moved to Pound. And like, you want to talk about poverty? Like,
oh yes,
yeah.
I'm from.
I don't
well.
actually.
What part?
I don't give a fuck about poor people. That's why I vote Democrat, so I don't have to care.
Gore, Winchester. It's like as far north and west as you can get, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like your whole thing is funny to me because like it's you're on the internet, so it's different. Obviously, you've had a lot of exposure to the internet. But if you took pretty much 40% of the adult men that work in trades that I knew, some of them eventually went on disability, and you gave them a YouTube channel. This is the same thing that would happen. This is like the exact same thing that would happen. Just because they don't like, you don't know. You don't like. You're not just magically born with an ability to know what to do with everything, especially things that, you know, being a YouTuber and I'm not making excuses for you, by the way.
I mean, no, I get what he's saying. It's like weird to navigate. It's really simple when you kind of get it, but when you don't get it, it's like insanely like weird, you know?
No, of course I'm just saying this makes sense.
But yeah. There's no excuse for the stupid shit I've done, but this might be the reason.
Because like a lot of it sometimes feel, I don't know, it's like so weird. You know, like half of you is like, damn, I'm making so much money right now, like I could spend it, and then the other half of you is like, how long is this gonna last? Like I'm fucked, you know.
It happen. I often say that, right? Like I'll explain why I do the stupid shit I do, or the stupid mistakes I've made, like what my reasoning at the time was. But it's never an excuse, right? Like I fired a gun in the air. I might have had all the reason in the world to fire a gun in the air. Doesn't matter. Still had.
Not really. You didn't have any. Just to be clear, this motherfucker told that Frank Castle guy to come to his house. Like gave him the address and everything. I'm pretty sure he gave him the address, but he was like telling him, begging him to come to the house. He begged the guy to go there, and then he waved the fucking gun at him and then shot. Like, I didn't know that originally, but that's like he doesn't, like, no, you didn't have any reason to do it. You're a fucking idiot. Like, playing internet tough guy, goading people into coming to your house. I watched that little podcast clip. It was fucking idiot.
I had to plead guilty. Still had to become a felon, right? Like,
you pled guilty because you're, okay, we're Judge Juding it up here. If you pled guilty, you're guilty, Boogie.
So I know what I was going, I'll tell you what was going through my head, but it's not an excuse.
I'll tell you what was going through my head. I was like, oh shit, he actually followed up on what he said he'd do. What I actually told him to do, and I was like, what do I do now?
It's not a justification. It's just why I did it, you know? But, yeah.
That would be the justification, right? But yeah, sure.
So I get what you're saying there.
Yeah. I mean, I've never, like, one of the things that I always like to even talk about is, like, I came from no financial knowledge at all. You know, I came as an immigrant to this country, so I had, like, no idea of, like, investments or financial knowledge. So when I got even a touch of money, and I'm talking money that, like, you know, disposable money, you know, money that you could chuck away and forget about, that's when the first thing I did was I started, you know, to talk with finance managers and like actually learn how to like grow wealth and everything. And even when I was making really good money, a lot of that was like my lifestyle would never reflect it because I
learned how to steal homeless people off the street and sell their organs. That's how I made my money.
I would always like try to
nobody cares about them. Do you know that?
Seek the security first. And then, like, you know, worry about the fun stuff afterwards. Like, I get what Caleb says. Like, you know, you don't get to go away with your money, but it's like, I would always worry about like not ever being in a situation.
The fuck is Caleb? Is that Oompaville?
Where I have to think about it. Like, I don't ever want to be a billionaire in my life. Like, I think that's an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you know, I'd be balling with like, it'd be awesome if I was making like $250,000 a year. Oh God, I would fucking You know what happened if I made $250,000 a year? That's my penis getting hard pushing the table up. I'm just kidding. No, that would be awesome though. That would be fucking great. Like I couldn't even imagine making like $1 million a year. It's fucking banana boats, man.
It's not something that I think could ever appeal for me. But I also don't ever want to be in a situation where I have to think about the day to day, right? Like that's a scary thought. And I think if you've ever lived it, I think most people can understand. It's like,
yeah, I feel that, man. I've been in debt before. Rough stuff.
Like the security is what you aim for.
Yeah, I've been back there now for about a year. And it's nowhere near as bad as I thought it was. And I definitely have it infinitely better than most people. Like I still live in a very nice home. I can afford my health insurance. I can afford to eat out sometimes. Like I probably
I can eat out too, dude.
I should, Caleb Hammer, right? But at the end of the day, like it sucks.
Oh, we just dropped Caleb Hammer. Oh, were they talking about Caleb Hammer? Talk about the Caleb Hammer accusations. Scott Schaefer's a fucking scumbag, dude. That video was insane. I mean, there's some weird shit that Caleb was saying when he was like 23, but like that video was. I'm surprised nobody called him out for that. I'm honestly shocked about it.
It sucks, you know, and I empathize with anybody. If I had to do it over again, I would have focused on my security more than anything. But I said this the last time you and I had a conversation. Like dead people don't cash in their 401ks, right? I wasn't planning to live to 65. I wasn't planning to live to 50. I don't know how the hell I'm still here.
Are you planning to live to it now, though? Because you've got a significant other, you've got a life now that I think.
Yeah, when are you guys getting married? When are you guys going to get married? And then when are you guys are getting divorced?
That's what I'm fighting for.
Here's the coolest thing I'll say on this podcast.
Pearl Davis's cousin.
I wish I had bought more Magic cards.
Really?
Yeah, because we're currently cataloging them, and we've cataloged $30,000 worth, and I feel like this is going to be a very nice saving grace. Now, admittedly, by the time I'm done with the collection, 100K is probably what I'm estimating, and you won't sell it for that. Right? Not even close. I'll probably get 50 out of that 100, and then somebody else will piecemeal it on TCG Player and get 25 additional more. Maybe I'll be the one that puts it on TCG Player. But
why not? You don't do anything anyway outside of that. Like, so do it. You don't fucking post on your YouTube.
But I'm in a pretty fortunate situation where, like, I wish I'd spent more money on Magic cards because that's going to be what saved my ass.
Wasn't Caleb talking about 17-year-olds? He made like a weird, I don't know if it was a joke or if he was being serious about like a 16 and a 17-year-old. Or somebody he thought was 16 and 17. I don't know if it was like a joke or if he was serious. I listen, I'm a young, well, I'm not a young guy. I'm a guy though. Like I say some wild shit to my friends in my group chat that I don't mean. So I don't know. It's impossible. I don't know. We don't know. And Scott is not a good narrator, so we can't take his word for it or his framing of it. Because the person he had it on was like, it was a very professional group chat. Everybody's name was like fucking penis farts, sex balls, fire cock. And it's like, okay. And they're like, well, but Caleb changed the names to that. It's like, okay, but this is clearly not, the tone is set. Once somebody's name is fucking, it was hot fucking cock lips or something, whatever it was called, the tone of that conversation is probably not going to be professional.
Really happy about it.
It's ironic.
It's just like a different type of NFT.
No, but the funny thing is about your investment in Magic cards, it's like, it was a terrible investment by any metrics. It was just, at least it's something tangible. It's not like extra food.
Right, you couldn't disappear on my phone while I slept.
You couldn't consume that.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Just to be clear too, my what I was saying about my approach to money, I'm not saying it's the right approach. Just to be clear, I think that it's not. I don't think that that's a very like if everyone thought that way, there would be probably total anarchy. So
if I had to do it over again, and
like if you have money, that's what if you had money for sure.
It's what I hear you guys saying today. I think this is what your advice would even be is I think you take care of your security first, right? And then when you have enough money to where you're going to be okay.
How did this become a weird fucking money masturbation podcast here?
Okay, you got the nest egg, you got the investments. Hell, your 401k is full. You'll be able to retire at 65. Then if you want to buy the fancy car with the extra money, right? Then if you want to start taking people out to dinner.
Fancy cars are so overrated.
They're stupid.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I would consider like a muscle car, like a Hellcat or something, because I am part black, but I don't know, man. Like I still got the 2017 economy Kia Soul. I'm gonna be done paying for it in June or something like that. I don't even remember. Next car I get's probably gonna be like a van or something for like a kid. I'm happy I didn't buy a nice car when I had the money for it, because I didn't have the money last year for it. We had that rough patch, which is a good thing. It's good to try to live below your means if possible. Which is another benefit, because I was like, okay, my life adjustment wasn't like spectacularly large. We just had to go to Disney less, because we didn't like get a really nice house or a really nice car that was like hundreds of dollars a month. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's bad. Yeah, I think the fancy car, like that's just purely your own. If you want to do that, that's
fancy car
completely
is
cool.
ego.
Yeah.
It's
like
cringe.
I literally couldn't even own a fancy car if I wanted to, just because the hype me the most.
Dude, Matt his career just ended, and if he ends his last video, get into like this shitty old car and driving away, and I was like, that is so awesome.
Oh, did he make his last video? Okay.
Like that is so awesome.
I remember the first like fancy vehicle.
Part of me just doesn't want people to know that I have money, like when I'm walking down the street, because then I feel like they'll harass me more. So I was like, oh, let me get like my fucking shit wagon.
I ever actually bought was like from my dad, because we would always like have the used stuff for a while. So I was like, oh, here you go. Even like the fancy car, like I was out in San Antonio, and like I was out with the Unsubscribed boys, and I sat in like Eli's like a McLaren and everything. It was a nice car, but like every time I sat in it, I'm like, bro, my feet are like up against the glove box.
I think cars are a terrible. I don't think people should buy cars like if they want to be smart, but I like them. I think it's one of those things
I
that
think he just means really nice cars.
Falls into the category of.
I mean, it's cool as fuck when you're sitting in like a goddamn like Dodge Challenger or something, man. Like it feels good. It feels cool. You feel like a cool guy.
Of just like
cool cat.
I enjoy the way that it
cool cat club
makes me feel when I do it, and it's not going to hurt me unless I drive really fast, obviously, and kill myself. Then it absolutely could. But it's not like a drug. It's not like it's not like I'm
Incredible.
I mean, it's not like it goes away after. It's not like a hooker where you come for an hour.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they maintain it like, and if you're smart, you can buy cars. And
well, yeah, it's just like a big expense. Like obviously, well, like most things, it depreciates in value. You know what I mean? But it's like you can get like any car is gonna, for the most part, I don't know. Like the nicer the car, the more expensive it is going to be for upkeep. For what? So that you're like traveling. I feel like if you have the money, get something that's like really comfortable. And then like you're good. Like you could probably spend like tops, I don't know, maybe $60,000 for a real comfortable, like nice, like souped up fucking, like I don't know, SUV or something. Like I'm thinking of something like SUV-ish, like a Ford Edge or something next, or the Kia equivalent. I don't know yet. I'm pissed off with Kia right now.
Can maintain value. I mean, I've essentially uptraded one of the new one of the Broncos. I pre-ordered, bought it for the normal price, traded it in for a GTR. And then traded a GTR in for a Raptor R, and like
I did that with an old Model S. I bought it during like pre-COVID. I bought an old Model S, and it appreciated in value like
That's crazy.
30-40 grand, and then I sold it back and bought the US with the differential. I was like, all right.
There was like 3 months where Broncos were going for like 115 grand, and it's a $50,000 car.
Yeah. You were telling me, but that was insane. I was like, and same thing with like those Cybertrucks now too. Like I was thinking of getting a Cybertruck for like the range day that's coming up.
I wouldn't get the Cybertruck. I just feel like it's, you know, when you see that, you watch the videos where it's like, oh, it's like bulletproof and shit. You got people like shooting at it. I feel like, I don't know cars, or I'm not an engineer, so I could be wrong about this, but you know, they have the thing where the car's supposed to fold when you hit it. When you crash, it's supposed to fold so that the whatever energy, kinetic energy or whatever bullshit, doesn't go through your body. It goes through the car, so it minimizes. The more a car gets fucked up when you crashes, the less energy goes into your body as a passenger. And it's like the goddamn Cybertruck, man, looks like a legitimate tank. I feel like if I got into a crash, I'm dead. You know. Hey, thank you so much for the small gut from a Lemon Rosa. I appreciate that.
You should get one, Boogie.
Yeah, well, you know, the whole Tesla thing, a lot of people don't know what my plan was with that Tesla. I have a friend who owns I have a friend who owns a celebrity car museum up in Branson.
Is it Tesla? Is it Elon Musk?
My friend Scott. And then another friend manages his place. And
his name is Manges? What the fuck?
And so the plan was to get like, it was a bad idea. This is a stupid bad idea, but it made sense to my stupid brain at the time. But we were going to kit the Model X with the wing doors out to look like a modern day DeLorean. We get it silver wrapped and get like the Mr.
I mean, that's cool if you have the money for it.
Fusion on it and the stupid, flux capacitor, and like take that to conventions. So it's already getting paid to go to conventions. Yeah. And so I thought, well, if I had a show car, it could add a little extra bang to the budget. Mm-hmm. And they told me like we could get that out for you for under $20K. Because it was a stupid financial decision. I was never going to make the money back.
Yeah, but you would have made some money back.
Well, I ended up just not buying the car.
Okay, that's even better.
Yeah, that was way smarter.
So it's funny we're having this discussion. I just bought a Tesla.
Oh yeah, yeah. You bought one?
That's
like the ultimate douchebag YouTuber car.
Yeah, I needed a douchebag car. It's been
you nuts.
I would never got dead driving one of those electric jet
all right, dude. I've seen you watching hentai on your Tesla. Okay, get out of here.
Just why?
Yeah.
I would get one, but I don't. There's like it's just not feasible. Everywhere I go, I got to drive 3 hours, no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Bro, you'd be surprised how long that bitch can go on a 3-hour charge. I went all the way to like Buffalo and beyond, then I like came back and I'm like, oh, I still like 38% left. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. How long do these Teslas go, or these like electric cars go? Because I was thinking of getting them, but my wife and I do like going on road trips. Where does he live that he got to Buffalo? Like how many hours of driving? And like how fast is the charge? Because I was watching Elon Musk talk about it, and he was talking about how like the battery fills up quick to like 80%, and then it takes a longer time because I guess whatever the fucking way it fills up is a bunch of fucking particles bounce around and try to find where they're supposed to go, and then there's less room for them to go, so it takes longer and some I don't know, whatever. So I just wonder like how far can you go? How fast is the charge? You know what I mean? Like that would be what because I would I'm not a huge fan of like the driving. My wife and I do like going on road trips, I just hate the driving part. I like being at the place where the road trip is, but I would need to know these things.
Your range anxiety dies real quick once you drive one of those cars.
Yeah, I was the one time that I realized I took a road trip with McJuggernuggets, and we had to set at a target for 45 minutes for him to fill his car. It was like a mall, but it had a target.
That's not bad though. 45 minutes? That's not too bad.
And it was like a 2-story target. I had to walk around this mall for 45 minutes. I'm like, this is absolutely not how I want to travel. I'm so glad I did not purchase this car.
That's fine with me. My wife and I like to take like if we're doing like a 5-hour trip, we're gonna take a break for like an hour, maybe not a whole hour, but we take a decent break, like a 20 to 30 minute break, like at the 2 to 3 hour mark. Like we get out, we take a piss, maybe we'll grab something to eat. If I had to wait 45 minutes, I'd be fine with that. I'd be totally chill with that, man. I enjoy that. It's like a forced, because I like if I was going to, I like to take a break every 3 hours maximum. I like about 2.5 hours. I just like to get up and stretch. I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'4". It feels nice to get out and stretch and kind of move around. So that would be fine with me.
Has it gotten faster to charge them, I wonder?
It takes like 25-ish minutes, 20 minutes if you're going from like the emergency, like 10%. You got to plug this up to like 80%. Anybody that sets it beyond 80.
Who decided to name Buffalo?
A nut job, bro. Like an actual nut job.
Like your
someone that really likes the wings. I don't know.
That was a bad joke, Boogie.
Weird. Wasn't that
I don't think the wings existed back then. I think the actual animal existed, and then we hunted them out of existence. We were hitting them with trains. It's pretty fucked up. It's kind of funny. Not really. It's terrible.
The wings come from?
Yeah.
Dude, Buffalo's like...
wait, does it actually come from wings? Wait, do I just not know that? Is that where the hot wings come from, Buffalo? I guess they're hot because they're racist or something, because there's a lot of fucking racism there too, man. What the fuck?
One of those places where it's so depressing.
I
Like,
thought about moving there.
I was in the mall in Buffalo, and it was just like the biggest sign they have, like the billboard, is like, "Hey guys, if you're using fentanyl, here's the counter drug to fight it." I'm like, dude, this has got to be the most depressing city to actually.
Damn. Is there a good mall there? I love malls. I like going to malls. Unironically, my wife and I like going to different malls. We went to like Maine. No, not Maine. What the fuck am I saying? Went to Pennsylvania. Whatever, Delaware, something like that. And we went just to go to a nice mall. It was cool. I just like going to malls. It's weird, but I like it.
Actually be it. But everyone's like chill from Buffalo too. Like, if you, I don't know, everyone I've met from there
Because they're on drugs.
is really cool. It's just like the entire town or the city just gives the
Oh, Buffalo, New York. What am I thinking of? What am I thinking? Dude, what is wrong with me, dude? What do I think of Boston? I'm thinking of fucking Boston for some reason. What the fuck is wrong with me, bro? Holy fuck. I can imagine you guys listening to this and like, what the fuck is this fat piece of shit talking about right now? Fucking, what is he talking about? Buffalo being racist? Like, what the fuck? I'm thinking of goddamn Boston. Holy shit. All right. Sorry, guys.
the vibe of like a fentanyl like addiction.
I do really like the East Coast. Haven't come from there, and like I did enjoy my time in DC, but I haven't been in a long time. Right, I was there briefly for like one night to fly out of there, and I loved Cleveland. My God, I hate how much I love Cleveland. Now my second time there.
Yeah, I like Triangle dressed at the mall too. My favorite part.
You're like the only person I've ever talked to that said that.
Yeah. I have a friend in
weird.
Cleveland, and he does not have the same opinion.
Gives you an idea of how shitty Arkansas must be, doesn't it?
The way I see it,
Arkansas
it's you were in a room eating with EDP, and then you left the room and saw Cleveland, and it felt like freedom.
you ate wrong.
Yes, this place, this is everything.
DC was the funnest like state that I've been to because it's the only state where I like literally.
Is this better? Is it better when I do this? Seeing a little bit more? Or is this worse?
Almost got destroyed by U.S.
DC?
Marshals. Yeah, Washington D.C. Sorry, like the
okay.
actual city.
The Commonwealth,
So,
yeah.
So the one time I was like, it's the same thing. I was flying through there, so I was going out of Vegas, and I knew I got COVID. So I was like, man, I have to make this flight tonight, otherwise I'm stuck in Nevada. So I'm like, all right, what's the best way you can get me back home to
You're spreading the COVID, dude. What the fuck, bro? What the hell?
Toronto? They're like, we'll route you for like 3 hours in D.C. I'm like, do it. So I'm out there in DC, and like I'm just like, all right, I might as well see the White House. So it's like 1 a.m, and I actually did not expect it to be dead closed. Like no human walking around the Capitol except me. So I'm in the Capitol, and like it was the only time where like SUVs were like just from a distance following me, and I'm like, oh man, if my brown ass stays here for too long, I'm not making the flight back to Toronto. It was like the weirdest vibe that I've ever had. It was like in the winter, you see the Capitol from a distance away, super weird part of the country. But like I had to see the White House, and I'm like, all right, I'm in Washington, might as well see
A nostril cam, yeah.
what 1600 Pennsylvania Ave looks like.
Thank you so much for the 15-month medium gut from Mason. Whoa, new setup, poopy balls. I gotta start reading it before I read it out loud. Thank you. Fucking poopy balls.
I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be around here at like 2 a.m. It doesn't actually work. Like the marshals are on them. Like they're questioning things. So that was my like only experience.
The best. I went there as a teenager with the Upper Brown program, and they
Look how
took
big these bats are, bro. This would totally be fucking up my bit rate if I had my old computer.
us to the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
And I've always had a dream
And
to
I got 32 gigs of RAM. I don't know what that means, but
go back and just see everything in the Smithsonian. That's the only real advantage to that town. It's
You get
a
the
miserable
facts.
town full
See.
of corruption and awfulness, but I absolutely want to do everything there is to do in the Smithsonian.
Yeah. Well, speaking of like your future, I really do like. I really
I
think
feel like we weren't speaking of his future that much, but hey, fuck it.
like Travel Boogie would be an interesting like view on the channel. You definitely made some travel content that I'm like, it's
last
something I
few
can,
when we drove up to Cleveland and stuff, people really did seem to enjoy our vlogs and stuff. I'm trying, since that channel is so utterly dead at this point. I could just upload anything, and so that's what I'm doing. I just upload whatever occurs to me, and maybe if something sticks, we'll do more of it. But I like the travel stuff a lot.
That's not a good strategy to do YouTube.
Well, yeah, it's probably a bad
right.
plan, but it's how I've always done it for 17 years, and it was successful once. Maybe it'll be successful now.
But things have changed over the last 17 years.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I'm
YouTube
hoping-
is very different right now.
I'm hoping I'll stumble
I mean,
across something.
it's more than anything else. It just sounds like you were lucky to be like when people, you got big from kind of just messing around. You got lucky. You gotta have more of a content strategy now. And like the biggest content strategy is you need to start posting stuff on like TikTok. It really is probably your biggest strategy. Yes, I know they're talking about banning it, but it's still like the biggest thing you really need to consider. I don't know, man. Maybe just make a new channel or something. I mean, he's old, so I wouldn't do that, but that's what I did. Because you're like 15K views on a fucking 4 million account. Maybe it's time to make a new account or something. Make a fucking something. Just something consistent. You need to propose consistency to people. Because that's what I'm feeling like. He had his bump with this whole fucking issue with Tipster or whatever, and the Mike Klum thing's going to be another bump. if he can manage it well, it's not going to be like terrible for him, even though it sounds like he acted like a fucking idiot in that podcast or that in that video. It's just like you have nothing to look at. If somebody looked and like saw Boogie having like this interaction with EDP and they were like, oh, I like this, I want to see if there's more of this content creator, what's to look at for them? What the fuck are they going to look at? There's nothing to look at. You know what I mean? Like, what are we seeing? That's the biggest problem that he has. It's like he has nothing consistent. It's like if you like, do something. I don't know. Figure something out.
Something the algorithm will like, right? Okay. And if it does, then I'll stick to that. Does that make sense?
No, not really. It just sounds like you're leaning too much into audience capture.
But as it is right now, nothing breaks 20K views.
But, dude, but you know what the algorithm would like. You know the algorithm likes relevant things. It likes drama. It likes even, your life to some extent.
It doesn't really matter what it is. He just needs to do it consistently. He just needs to do it consistently.
Views off your ass, okay? Like, I don't know. You could do something.
Well, you described most of what I upload. If that's mostly what I upload. I upload little fragments of my life, and I do some commentary.
But it's just so all over the place, man. Like that's the problem. Is like there's no consistent tone of Boogie's channel. It's oh my god, I can't for my life. There's no consistent tone for this guy, and that's his biggest issue. Dude, I looked up his fucking name and his fucking name. He doesn't come up when you look him up. What the hell? All right, we got him. Like, there's nothing consistent on this channel to really look at. I mean, like, this is drama. This is drama. This is just you complaining about. Oh, must be a Mike Klum thing.
Oh, hi there. I'm YouTuber Boogie2988, and I hold a very distinct honor of being one of the very few YouTubers.
Special congratulations.
I guess it's McJuggernuggets or whatever. I don't know. This kind of stuff, listen, in like my experience, this kind of stuff is like short-term views, long-term, like you're losing respect of your audience when you post, I'm losing subs. Like it's always kind of stuff like this is always asking for attention. When you talk about if you're losing subs or this or that, the other thing, and it's just not something you should do. The Fallout trailer, it seems to do well. Talk about more video games, stream video games. Like, don't you like video games? 2 weeks ago, there's just nothing consistent, He just needs to like fucking post. That's his biggest problem, is his lack of consistency. It's like his biggest problem, dude. I mean, in all honesty, like this guy just needs to figure out a better like way to operate with himself. Like, I don't know. Make some like if you're gonna go the route of making short videos, because a lot of those are short videos. There's some vlog stuff and that's fine. But like if you're gonna make the if you're gonna go this route of like short content, generally speaking, like this is stuff that like look, everything's under 10 minutes. This is stuff that should be repurposed for TikTok. They do up to 10 minutes now. Like, why not? Like, you can actually make decent money on TikTok now. Like, I don't know, do fucking something of the day. Gaming of the news of the day, gaming news of the day, do something. And probably, honestly, stay out of fucking this. Stay out of politics. Like, I don't think that you really have it in you for it. I don't think you have like it in you to like take the criticism, and that's fine. It's not even an insult, dude. Most people fucking like. Why would you want to? Also, politics is gay and cringe. Like just do like gaming news. Fallout trailer reaction looks like people liked it. Stuff like this. I don't know. Play a game, cover it, give us a thing. I don't know, man. What does it matter? What am I fucking talking to myself at this point?
Which does just as well as the rest of it. But the videos that have done well over the last 30 days has been us just going out and exploring the world. I think a lot of people are really fascinated with the fact that I'm dating a 21-year-old girl. So I guess that's part of it.
Yeah, it's tough to bring that whole topic up, but go ahead. It's like, how's that like kind of
been going? Married.
Yeah,
that's just weird. I mean, listen, it's not illegal or anything. She's not like a fucking victim. He seems to be a fucking bizarre motherfucker. I remember, like, he's having his girlfriend cry on Mike Klum's video, like on the camera for attention and views. It's really weird. Like, I might die soon, getting her to like cry. I don't know if it was an act or something, but that's like insanely manipulative in my opinion. I just think it's weird. You're 30, you're 50 now, and what do you have in common with a 20-year-old? It's just whatever. I mean, it's not illegal. I don't care from that, but it's just immature. It's bizarre. Like, I guess I would understand wanting to fuck a 21-year-old at 50, but like, because it's a young girl, I want to fuck her. She's legal, obviously, but I don't get the dating. Like, what do you have in common? I don't know.
It'll probably be a couple years before we get married. I do think I might ask her in the next year or so. But it's one of those things where I don't want to ruin the rest.
You're going to ask her dad, which is your age, for her hand in marriage. Can I date your daughter, sir?
If her life.
I want to know what they actually think, not what Boogie says that they think.
And I don't want to ruin my life, so we got to take it very slow. Her parents are on board, which is nice.
What do you mean ruin your life?
Well, I mean, like, what if the marriage doesn't work out and it sucks? I don't want to spend the last few years of my remaining life going through a divorce, right? Like, it's not fun for anybody.
True,
Divorce
so
is
you
not
gotta
fun for anybody.
I don't think she would divorce you. She might as well ride it out at that point, you know?
You got to make sure before you pop the question.
Yeah. Definitely take your time on something like that, I think.
I mean, you're 50 years old, not for nothing, but like you shouldn't be concerned with like, what if I got a divorce at 50? And what I mean is like I'm a grown man. I'm 33. I'm almost 34. I'm gonna be 34 in like a week. So like you should be, in my opinion, at that age, you should know well enough within the first couple of dates of like whether you could be with somebody for the rest of your life or not. You're not 20 years old exploring yourself and your feelings and your interactions and your boundaries. You know, I'm 30. I'm in my 30s, so I have a pretty solid like set on what I want, what I need, et cetera, et cetera. Or at least I should. And you're 50 though, so like you should be way beyond that. So it shouldn't even be a question of like, oh, if I marry this person, it could go poorly. I understand that she's young, but I don't know. It's just like if you're questioning it, you shouldn't be getting married. You know, I don't. I just okay, whatever.
And even though her parents are on board, and even though she's on board, and I'm pretty much on board. I want to take it slow for her.
Bro, how do you get the parents on board?
I was about
like
to
that?
ask.
That's scary. That's like I think me
It
learning
was
how to
very
defuse
scary. It was
bombs
very
is easier.
Please tell me you presented yourself better than you did in the freaking job interview. Hey, I did porn. I'm dying in
Yeah,
6
of
months.
course.
Can I marry your daughter?
Yeah, you know, her mom said to me, and I talk to her mom all the time now.
Whoa, maybe there's something there.
But her mom said to me,
He talks like he's still 20, maybe.
she's happy, and that's all that really matters. Says, I've never seen her happy. She's never been happy in the 20 years I know her.
That's
She's
nice.
happy as a pig in shit right now. Don't f it up, Steve. That's basically what her mom told me.
Or I'll kill you, Steven. That was a parody.
I don't. You got it. I'm gonna f it up. She likes our, you know, she likes our home. She's getting better. She's working
I gotta play a new game, am I right, guys?
with, you know, becoming like a more well-rounded person because she has her share of trauma growing up. And so she is at
Would she get tickled when she was 19?
21, where I was at
Sorry.
21.
I'm just sorry, that's fucking that was shitty.
And I thought this was an opportunity to be the person I needed, right? I had my friend, my roommate, Chad. He stepped in, helped me get my shit together.
Nice.
So I thought I could maybe step in and help this person get their shit together. And so we're doing the therapy thing, we're doing the self-help thing, we're doing the YouTube videos that talk about the problems she's been through, and she's journaling, and she's doing the work that she needs to do to become a healthier, better person. And I give her a place to do that, and I'm really happy about that.
All right, I guess that's cool. Sure.
And I think the results are amazing. When I met her, she could not walk into a Walmart. I don't mean alone. Her social anxiety was so bad. 3 minutes in a Walmart was like being on fire for
Yeah, I don't think I believe that. I don't know. I just feel like there's no way, but whatever.
her. Just the other day, she went to Walmart by herself for the first time.
Well,
That's
speaking of
amazing.
therapy stuff, one of the interesting therapists that you had recently was
Flaming Star, baby!
Flaming
Druggy
Star,
McDrugs.
Yeah, so I want to just start fresh from the beginning, like rip Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
How did this Flaming Star crackhead through a brick through your window nonsense start?
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. So
So I'll try to give you the briefest version. He has been
no, go verbose. Like I want to know.
Okay.
Book of Genesis here.
So he's been in Northwest Arkansas for a long time, and we have a mutual friend who owns a gaming store called Gear Gaming, my friend Glenn Whitman. And Glenn is like, hey man, I know you've had interest in psychedelics with PTSD and stuff like that in the past. I know a guy. And this guy has been ever present in Northwest Arkansas, I think, for a long time. I did know his brother back in the day, Daniel. He played Magic, and his brother was a really interesting person. Referred to himself as plural pronouns for some reason. In like 2007, he's like
Plural pronoun, like they, them, or do you mean that they like spoken like the third person? What does that mean?
he's like, yeah, well, we don't have a very good deck. I'm like, who the f is
Okay, so I gotcha.
we? You got a mouse in your pocket, Daniel? But again, looking
Okay, it's just so unfunny. It made me laugh.
back on it, they might have also been experimenting with psychedelics back then too. But this guy had been writing me in 2018, 2019, wrote me on Facebook. I can fix you. Let me fix you. And I wrote him back and I'm like, how? He's like, I do psychedelic therapy. I'm a healer. I can do whatever. And I'm like, that sounds like bullshit. That sounds like snake oil. Please stay the away from me. But,
just like Smart Boogie kicked in for a minute.
right. Well, I started doing the research. And if you look, there's a documentary I recommend to everybody. It's on Netflix called How to Change Your Mind. But you can also just Google this. Psychedelics help people with PTSD. Psychedelics help people with depression. Psychedelics, ketamine therapy is very common right now in the United States. That's the breakout version of it. But eventually we will be doing mushrooms combined with traditional therapy, LSD.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This I feel like unless it's like a legitimate like clinician, like an actual doctor or something that would be able to help you on this, I don't think it's a very good idea because different people are also going to interact differently with different drugs. It's just not good to be doing this shit.
Be combined with traditional therapy. And the more I leaned into that, the more I looked into it. And I have a friend, I don't want to dox them, but they cured their heroin addiction through ketamine therapy. The problem is ketamine therapy is pretty expensive, and notably, I haven't had much money since about 2000.
And also, imagine it can be addictive. Isn't ketamine like an addictive substance? So yeah,
20, right? So this guy kept hitting me up, and he started wearing me down. And when Mike Klum is in the area, he's like, what else that we haven't shot? Is there anything else you can think of that would be interesting for the doc? I said, there's a shaman who wants to take me out in the woods and give me mushrooms. And Mike's like, let's fucking do that. That sounds amazing. So
Mike's like, let's just do some drug use today.
Yeah. Is it CDC approved? I think that they use ketamine in like some legal boundaries, but I don't think you can get like ketamine over the counter. Am I thinking of something else? Yeah, you can get ketamine as a prescription. Am I thinking of something else? What am I thinking of? I'm doing like all of them. Like my fucking brain just like rot today. What's the shit that they're lacing? It's ketamine, isn't it? Into like heroin and weed and shit and other drugs. Isn't ketamine like? Hold on. What is ketamine? Oh, it's just a dissociative anesthetic that has some hallucinogenic effects. Okay. Interesting.
I mean, it's good content.
Right, yeah. And I was down. Like, obviously, I was down for anything in that documentary, right? Like,
Why?
Are we done? Fuck Michael Klum. Oh, fentanyl. Dude, see, I'm all over the place. I'm like all over the place with my fucking thought process today. You fucking knew. I'm thinking of fentanyl. What am I thinking of fentanyl for? Jesus Christ. Dude, I gotta stop talking or something.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm like, this is my Andy Kaufman moment. Let's troll everybody. Let's show myself at the worst. Let's try to burn this shit down and start over. That was my thought process. Maybe that's EDP's thought process.
Didn't you realize that this is like your one shot, the final story into your life that the world will see? Like,
yeah, but I mean, it's not like Mike was here. Mike wasn't here to film a fluff piece. Like, if I wanted him to make me look good,
but you said you wouldn't even do this stuff yourself, right? You said you only did this because let's troll, let's
fuck is typing,
burn it to the ground, right? It's not about a fluff piece or not. Like, you were actively hurting yourself. You were actively making yourself look like a fool.
Have you met me, Nux? Have you seen me?
Well, no, I believe that. Like, I think that he thought that would make it more interesting. I'll act like a fool. Give me views and money, please. I need it. Like, that's what I was thinking of. I think Boogie's also probably somewhat like Boogie's also a people pleaser. Believe it or not, very clearly. So he was probably like, oh, like not only does he want entertainment, but he wants Mike Klum to do well, because then like Michael, I think part of the reason that he's a people pleaser is because he desperately wants like friends and validation. So he's like, oh, okay, I'll do this to embarrass myself so it does well, so that Mike Klum's documentary is better, so that we can be friends, and then we get, that's where I think his brain goes in a lot of these instances.
Are you look at me in the camera right now? Do I look like somebody who takes very good care of themselves?
Yeah, but you also don't look like somebody that wants to take good care of yourself.
It's kind of what I do. I used to self-harm. I used to cut, for God's sakes. Look what I do with food.
Shit, cut class.
Do you want to get better?
Yeah, but I thought this documentary might be the way to do it.
What the fuck? Why is he going so hard in for? I mean, I understand the dialogue, but now what is he talking about?
There wasn't much left to sabotage, man.
Well, there was a little bit of fluff that you added. I'm doing better now post.
I'm doing that better now post.
Well, it sounds like he's gonna ruin more of his ego or more of his credibility with this, like, whatever thing. Having fun with what's his face. Hey, having fun with EDP. Woo!
The doc with the Locale Live and everything else than I was doing pre-doc. I mean, it probably ended up helping in the end. But at the end,
I am happy to hear that. Don't get me wrong. I'm still I don't understand the headspace of, well, this isn't a fluff piece anyway. Might as well shoot myself in the balls for content.
I thought it would be funny, and I thought, like, I know Charlie, for example. I did not think he was going to take that job interview as serious. Like, I'm so surprised by that.
That job interview? Okay, the reason why...
Well, I think that, like, to an extent, that was, like, you being serious, but also in, like, trying to be entertaining at the same time.
I took the job interview, like, super serious. Is that, like, this was a documentary. It was never meant to be, like, a comedic piece. Yeah. So the reason why...
I don't think it was a comedic piece. I think, but maybe Boogie might have thrown his own flair on there. I honestly think that, like, I think him doing that came less from, like, trying to be funny and more from, like, not wanting to get a job. That's just me personally. And then also people pleasing Mike Klum and being like, oh, I'll do something fucking stupid. But I don't think that Mike asked him to do something like that. I think that was the tone that Boogie said. So.
Why any of us were like, and the reason why I was like specifically mad is like, I really did feel like that was a part of the video where I'm like, the guy cooked you up with an actual interview, and it was like you were out dead set to ruin it, right? And
but it even says,
yeah, absolutely.
In the documentary, it says mock interview, right? It even says that.
Okay, but the mock interview doesn't mean that you mock the interview. A mock interview means like a trial interview. Okay, so what are you talking about? Doesn't make any sense.
The mock interview is supposed to be prepped for an actual interview. It's not a skit.
Well, maybe that's how I was prepping, you know, like in universe. Then
maybe. Oh yeah, you're still trying to figure out your narrative on that one, Boogie.
That's how I was prepping. This is what I might say in a job interview. Let's learn not to do it, right? But again, we went there to troll that person.
Preps by doing things that you shouldn't be doing.
I don't know, man. You're trying to make me explain crazy. I don't know how to explain crazy to you, man.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, you know, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with like stuff.
Well, like Boogie said, he's just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. I don't think he has a lot of motivation for half of his movements, other than like, I hope people like it, because I need to make money, you know. So I don't think that like he even has an understanding of why he does some things.
Stuff like LolCal Live, like so you're doing like LolCal Live.
It's pretty much fucking woman that he interviewed him was hot, dude. She was like some older fucking woman. You know, she was dyeing her gray hairs. I tell her to stop, bro. I don't know what it is.
Like you're owning the title or the term LolCal, which
you know what's crazy? I was looking at that Meat Canyon video where that like fucking lolicon dude, the weirdo, was like criticizing Meat Canyon, and I was like, you know, obviously gross shit. And at one point I was talking about how like I like older women with like saggy tits and like gray hair and everything. And the guy's like, ew, why are you telling us about your granny fetish? And first of all, it's not granny fetish. I'm fucking old. Second of all, it's like, dude, why you're consuming, you're enjoying and actively consuming fucking lolicon VTuber. How the fuck are you going to criticize me for thinking of like being normal? I'm just normal. I'm just a dog. That's the only difference between me and you is I'm a fucking dog and I just talk about nasty shit all the time. But like, you're actually fucking, you know, you're living this life, brother. You're gooning it up.
Yeah. It is an incredibly negative connotation,
of course,
right?
yeah,
like for anybody that doesn't know what a LolCal is watching, it's somebody that, you know, pretty much is milked for entertainment on the internet.
Yeah, and they have like no self-awareness, etc.
Trolled relentlessly, and this whole podcast is supposed to be you. I don't know how much like Nuxing, but you guys know about the LolCal Live stuff. But it was supposed to be. So LolCal Live was a documentary initially pitched to Boogie, Wings, and Darkside Phil. Darkside Phil obviously did not join LolCal Live. He, you know, stayed away from it. Mm-hmm. But you guys are running.
Probably the only respectable thing he's ever done for himself.
LolCal Live.
To be honest with you.
And it's like that's the one thing where it really feels like you're doing anything almost for the viewership, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, which I think is like kind of sad, no? Like, I just feel like, you know, respect yourself a little bit more. That's where it starts, like respecting yourself, and then like slowly building around that and building consistency around that.
There is some truth into playing the hand life dealt you, right? I've had to always do that. It's never been I've never had great cards in this life, right? So
what are you talking about? You got famous flipping over tables and acting like a fat fucking idiot. Like, I don't, no offense, but like, what are you talking about? Life didn't deal you great cards. I feel like you're engaging in like this massive victim complex. Like I was in a fucking terrible relationship for like 7 years. That was horrible. That I was like working 2 jobs, paying for everything. The person I was with wasn't respecting me. They'd steal money from me. They'd fucking, you know, they're addicted to video games. They wouldn't touch me. They wouldn't love me. They wouldn't, like, you know, no physical affection, not even sex, just regular affection. All this terrible shit. I don't say that to fucking like have a pity party. Now I was able to get through that, and like my life's amazing comparatively because I had such like a negative experience. Now everything's great. Like, it's fucking incredible. You know, I'm so incredibly fortunate. So it's like, I don't understand. Like, you had, like, I don't know. I just feel like everybody goes through hard shit. There's people who've gone through harder than me. You know, maybe Boogie's had it harder than me. Probably. I don't know. You know? But it's like, I don't know. Like, all my life's hard. It's always like a fucking excuse, you know? Having that, and I don't mean to be red pill cringe, but that fucking mindset is obviously very toxic.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to pay the bills. I'll do whatever it takes to survive.
Yeah, but you could survive without throwing away your dignity constantly. Like, have you ever tried to reach out to somebody that like actually knows what they're doing and engage in like a legitimate content strategy?
You know, I shoplifted.
Yeah, I did decide to be with her. No, there's a level of truth to that. I decided to stay with her. And part of it's my fault. Absolutely. That's one of the things I learned, like, after getting out of that situation, was like, oh, like, I had this thought that I had to be with this person for the rest of my life. Like, it's a weird thought that I think a lot of young people get, especially they don't have like dads, that they're like trying to force the relationship to work and trying to get through hardship because they don't really know what a healthy relationship is, and they don't want to be the one that leaves, and etc. But that's something I learned. Like, no, that is part of, like, it was my fault in a big way. Like, I did not leave. I should have left. Like, it was a shit relationship, but I didn't leave, and I could have. There was no duress I was under. I should have left, and I wish that I fucking, like, you know, I'm actually happy where it went because this is where I am now, and I don't want to be anywhere else. But yeah, there's a level of truth to that.
A tremendous amount when I was a kid to pay the bills. Right, that wasn't a smart decision either, but I did what it took to.
What do you say? You gave blowjobs or something?
When I was a kid, I'll do whatever it takes to survive. You know, I shoplifted a tremendous amount when I was a kid.
What'd you do? Like, fucking hide under your stomach? Like, how the fuck did you get out of the store that fast?
Pay the bills, right? That wasn't a smart decision either, but I did what it took to.
Sorry, I'm also fat.
To get myself out of homelessness.
To pay the bills, bro. What?
Yeah, like when I was when I say 19, 18, when I was homeless.
So not a kid.
Well, no, 1918 according to Boogie, it was like, and me as like a kid, like you're a legal adult at 18 and 19. I will always say that, but you're a fucking kid at 19. It is funny though that you're calling 18 and 19-year-olds kids, but then you're dating like what, a fucking 20 or 21-year-old, which would be a kid to you. So it's like, nothing like, I'm not talking about anything gross or like illegal or anything. I'm just saying like, you're dating a fucking kid to you. Like that mental perspective, somebody significantly younger than you. So it's like, that's a little more self-awareness would be pretty good for you, Boogie.
You're an adult there, buddy.
But then again, he probably feels like, oh, I'm the man. I'm the man because I'm dating a girl so young. So he probably feels that way too, which I kind of get because I was like poly for a while. It's like you kind of feel like a big man because you could date multiple people. You know what I mean? Like just immature shit.
Right.
I definitely was going to do
minor attracted anymore.
Bro, I never fucking I'm terrible at stealing. One time I stole a Snorlax ring when I was like a kid, like a young kid, like a 10, and I got so guilty I put it back. I said, "Mom, I found this in the Payless on the floor," and we gave it back to the guy. In a totally different store because I was racked with guilt.
No, I actually did start shoplifting when I was 16, and it's because my mother had like abandoned us and like wasn't giving me enough money to pay for everything I needed to take care of the house and my family and stuff. My dad. So like I did.
She abandoned you, but then also didn't give you enough money to pay for the house. I don't know. It's like contradictory, no?
Start shoplifting at 16, believe it or not. That's why I say kid.
Crazy.
But to get back on topic, yeah, I the Locale podcast presented itself, and here's the thing: I don't really like myself. In fact, I kind of despise myself. I think that's pretty abundant.
Just fucking end it all, dude. Like, don't do that, obviously. But it's like, come on. How much do we have to hear him talk about how he doesn't like himself?
And it's something I've worked on tremendously in therapy, and it's way better than it used to be. But everything you're touching on
sorry, that's a little shitty.
Right now comes from a mindset of, talk to anybody who grew up with 18 years of child abuse, and they're all going to feel about the same way. I've discovered is that we all tend to think we're human garbage, and we all don't think we deserve even the minor amount of human kindness. And so I can easily
I think it's just hard for at least me to like fully believe that this guy like came up from like a background like that because he's such a shitty person. But maybe that's what made him a shitty person, is a shitty background,
walk into a situation like the Locale podcast and do okay in that environment. Right.
I mean, it's just one of those things where like there are alternatives for this guy to not have to degrade himself on a bi-weekly basis or however often they record to make money. And he doesn't try to take the initiative. Like it can be very difficult to navigate the landscape. I know that firsthand. And obviously I was never as big as, but well, maybe actually with TikTok, but like, it doesn't matter. The point that I'm trying to make here, it's not easy to navigate the landscape. Like you're not even putting in effort to do it. You're just kind of like fucking around. You're not like, you have big YouTuber friends that can probably help you. There's like younger people you probably could have reached out to that know like the landscape better. You're not utilizing TikTok when it's like there's so many different things. Right.
And so that's the environment that YouTube has presented itself. And it's not bad on my mental health. My mental health probably can't get worse, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and make the money. I gotta get a mortgage to pay. I'm gonna pay the mortgage. If I had a way to do it differently, if somebody was like, "Hey, let's make you a superhero," and like
yeah, but that's you hear like the language he uses. It's like, hey, it's like what? Yeah, if somebody approached me with a different opportunity, it's like, why do people have to approach you? Why can't you do it yourself? Like seriously, the language is always like, what if somebody did it for me? Then like, yeah, I would take it. If somebody presented me with this opportunity, I would do this. If somebody presented me with this opportunity. What about like presenting yourself with an opportunity, like getting your shit together and like getting your content together, streaming, doing something, putting out like actual stuff? Like what if you know what I mean? It's just so lazy to be like, yo, somebody, and it's such a mindset that I feel like everybody is in to some extent as you're sitting there. Don't say that. Don't even censor like that, Velma, please. I gotta delete it. Okay, it's the whitest chat that you've ever been in. Okay, it's like that. Boom. Anyway, the point that I'm making is it's always, and we've all been there, of like, oh, if only this happened, or if only this happened, if only something out of my control would give me control, right? We've all been there in different ways, but I feel like it's just so big for Boogie. It's like this guy, if any of you guys had the platform he had, even with like the low view count, like you'd be able to do so much more with it. And it's like, come on, man, like it's so frustrating because you have the ability to. You have the ability to like do something on your own that's like financially lucrative and viable, and you're just not doing it. You're just not doing it.
Around and pay the bills by doing that. I'd rather do that. If I could save lives, I'd rather do that. But if being the internet's whipping boy is what's going to pay the bills, that's okay.
I don't know, man. That's why people don't like you. That's like they don't respect you, especially now that like the internet is shifting a little bit. People are like less terminally online as they used to be. And so when somebody hears somebody say something like, yeah, I'm okay with being a whipping boy, they're just like, oh, that's like, do you not have any respect for yourself? You know, that's the thought. That's what the thought people are getting out of that. So just letting you know.
That's okay. Pays the bills.
There's like kind of like a just like come to terms with like the most worst version of like where you could be is sort of the thing.
Like at the end of the day, I'm not a very intelligent person, I think. And on top of that, I don't really have very good
self-aware
tools to navigate the universe. And so I'm going to...
See, there it is. I don't have good tools to not for nothing. As much as I don't like this guy, he's not particularly stupid. Like Boogie really isn't the dumbest person in the entire world. He makes stupid decisions, but he makes it like clear-headedly. Like he's really not that dumb. Boogie has a reasonable level of intelligence. He can articulate himself fairly well. He has a decent understanding of things. He just makes excuses for why he should act poorly. Like it's not like he's on the Lolcow podcast being like, "Oh, I think it's great." He's sitting there and he knows that he's fucking you know, he's effectively to some degree selling his soul. He's a punching bag. He understands that. He's very self-aware for a lolcow where these people are typically extraordinarily not self-aware. And so when he says like, "Oh, I'm not smart," it's always this removal of agency from himself onto other people, or like oh, the world just gave me a bad hand. I can't do it. He's just justifying being shit. And it's like, you know, how do you? I don't know. How does that work for you? And how does it work for your girlfriend? Like, how does she respect you as a person? Because like my wife would leave me if I was doing what you're doing, and I would want her to, because her setting that boundary enables that I don't become a fucking loser. And it's like, come on, like you're obviously better than what you're doing. So like, what are you doing? Like it's embarrassing. You know what I mean?
Screw up a lot. I have screwed up pretty consistently my whole life,
right?
And I try really hard not to, and that's one of the hardest parts about it. I try really hard not to. So I figured when Mike Klum approached me, let's embrace the fucking up. Let's embrace all the stupid things I've ever done, admit that I'm that person, and maybe I can get better.
Do I think he's doing it for sympathy points? I think he's doing it because he's extraordinarily lazy. I think that Boogie is extraordinarily lazy, and he doesn't want to put in any actual effort, and so he makes up as many justifiers for why he is where he is that he possibly can. I think that's really what it is.
Moving forward. And I think the Lolcow podcast has made me better. I think I handled this flaming star shit, this podcast alone. I think I'm handling this podcast infinitely better than I would have 6 months ago. I would not have agreed to be on a podcast with Mudahar 6 months ago, right? I don't think I would have risked it.
Well, yeah, but this is also like a respectful podcast, and like Mudahar's a decent person. That's not going to fucking, you know, he's not going like he doesn't read as the type of person that's going to try to get a gotcha on you, you know. So.
Because I don't think I would have had enough self-control to keep my foot out of my mouth.
Well, like self-control house. Like, look, I'm not like I never interact with people to make themselves look bad. It's just my always thing is like, and I believe I'm much like this is why I believe like my synergy with these two friends that I have here on the show works really well, is because we're all as matter of fact as it can be, right? Like I always see Caleb when he talks about the craziest nut jobs on the internet, and I'm always in agreement with him. We're very like upfront, matter of fact, real dudes. Like I came from a place where it's like work hard and never complain about things, and maybe that's not the healthiest way to have it, but usually, you know, with the cards that you've been dealt, like don't get me wrong, there's negative in everything, but you can, I don't know, I feel like in a lot of ways you've been given a lot of like that. The documentary, it's like I know that you want to play a character and everything, but it's like there's no reason to absolutely burn whatever remaining goodwill. Like there's nothing that came out of the
documentary wasn't getting made either way, and it probably might have been smarter for me to tell Mike no. But it did play out.
It would have been. That's the problem. And this is like something like really this advice that you guys need to take if you want to be a creator. Like stop going for the quick pushes. You don't want to just generate an audience, and you don't just want to generate attention. You want to generate like the right audience and the right attention. And oftentimes huge bursts of attention, like being on on this podcast, or really being on like the EDP Mike Klum documentary, like that's not the right kind of attention you want. You're better off getting good attention from 10 people than excellent attention from 1 million people, or than like easy attention from like 1 million people, because those people aren't there to like consume you as a person or in a positive way. They're there to consume you in a negative way, right? It's just like, you know, it might be cool to be part of something, but you know that that's not something that you should really be doing. You know that the way that he's sweating this, you know that the way that you interacted with it was probably like really shitty and like irresponsible. And it's like, if you know this about what you're doing, why do it? You know, it's because, and then he justifies it. He's like lazy and he'll justify why.
positively, and I dreamt of it playing out positively. I thought, this is my thought process. Number one, it was my chance to play the character and be the person the internet thinks that I am and just really dig in on it. And maybe, just maybe, it would be big enough to where...
Play the character? Come on. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? What character? It sounds like what he's saying is he was playing into acting like a pedophile. Like, what?
People give it a fucking rest. Like, the things I've done, have I done anything like EDP? Not even fucking close.
Yeah, but now, it's going to be bad. I can already tell. It's going to be a bad one.
I'm not even as bad as your best Minecraft YouTuber. So,
okay.
At the end of the day, like, I'm an idiot. But I've not harmed other people.
This guy's sweating, dude. He's constantly sweating. I wonder if he ever like does something stupid and then goes, "Damn, I shouldn't have done that. Next time I won't do it." You know, because it seems like he does something stupid, and he's like, "I'm gonna do that again." He does something stupid. He feels bad about it. He gets negative attention, and then he's like, then next time something comes around, he's like, "I haven't had attention in a while, so you know what? I'll do something stupid again." It's just weird.
I mostly just harmed myself. And I feel like
gameplay is looking good. Nice.
I felt like if we put this podcast out there, people would see it. I'll admit to it, and maybe they'll move on. And yeah, that meant leaning into what the internet believes about me more than what's real.
What are you talking about? Wait, what? What do you? Wait, this doesn't make sense, dude. Is he trying to say that he went on this thing and like admitted that he's somewhat of a pedophile or something? What are you talking about? This doesn't. What are you saying? I don't even think he believes what he's saying, because nobody in their right mind would think that if they admitted to something they didn't do, that things would just move on. People are gonna like harp on dumb shit all the time. You just ignore it. That's what you really have to do. What the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck?
But I was okay doing that. And who cares? Let's have fun with it.
I don't know.
Right?
In my experience with the internet, anytime a fool that people get views making fun of does something stupid, it's just going to make more people make fun of them. I don't think leaning into being an idiot. It's like if EDP just leaned into more kids, maybe people would forget he was a pedophile. Like that's the logic.
Allegedly,
that's the logic that
is that alleged still?
It seems like you're kind of using.
Well, I also had Keemstar in my ear since 2019, and he's like, "Look, Boogie, you've turned heel whether you like it or not. You got to play the character." Like,
but again, you realize it's someone else's fault. You're a dude. This is like it's like wild. I don't know. You're a grown man. You're telling me that like you've been this is what he's leaning into. What he's hinting at is that he was manipulated by Keemstar to do what he's doing. Well, you might as well do this. You had this person then ignore that person. Stop interacting with them. What are you talking about? Like, wait, what? This is so stupid.
Either do you want to be irrelevant or do you want to let people shit all over you? Because I
feel like your next step logically, it's like if this is the route you want to take, you should start doing Kick. You know, like it almost sounds like you want to be the Kick streamer archetype. You know,
Desi has mentioned like OnlyFans is an option, and that would really piss.
I don't think that's the same thing, but okay.
People off. Kick again, doing crazy shit.
Bro,
there.
how are you going to look at her?
Who's gonna get pissed off by you doing OnlyFans? It's just explain that one to me.
Parents, if you start doing OnlyFans,
it would only be cosplay. It would only be cosplay. It would be just enough. I mean,
nobody would look at it then. Like, no offense, you'd have to. That's not what would happen if he actually took it seriously. If you'd have to embarrass yourself religiously in order for that to like manifest into something.
And her mom was like, her mom danced back in the day. You know, like I think her mom would.
What does that mean?
Understand? Hopefully we'll never have to do anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm adamant against her ever showing her body to a stranger under any circumstance. Like that will.
Well, you brought up the OnlyFans, just to be clear. So I feel like he's saying this, but like, what's the next step? They make it doesn't do well because it's not really like it does well the first month because people are like, what is going on here? Then the next month it does poorly. All of a sudden he's got to start upping the ante, and he either embarrasses himself. That's it. He embarrasses himself in some capacity. I don't know, sleeping with her or something. I mean, showing himself off in like a way that people were going to mock him for. I don't understand.
Haunt you for the rest of your life. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Mm-hmm. But like cosplay or whatever, we did like a Jabba the Hutt slave Leia cosplay. That'd be funny, right? We talked.
Sure. Okay.
About doing more outrageous stunts, but I kind of would like to.
Everything is. I feel like when he says something is a stunt, I don't think that like. I think that's an excuse. I don't think he actually thinks it's a legitimate stunt. I think it's more of like, oh, we can play this off as like a stunt, right? You know.
Give that a rest. I kind of just like enjoying being myself right now, and I'm still figuring out who myself is. But like, I've tried to be entirely myself on this podcast today, and I don't know. I think it's probably not very entertaining. But it feels good to me.
You came on our podcast trying not to be entertaining? Wow, man. Wow.
I don't know. Maybe the real me is entertaining, but I think it's, I don't know. I just wanted to talk. I'm a huge fan of you, Oompaville. I just wanted to.
Hey, thank you so much, Space Ghost, for the small gut. Also, are you just glazing the fuck out of this guy?
Hang out with you today a little bit. I didn't even know you were going to be here, but now that once you're here,
you guys.
Yeah, come to, and actually with the whole Local podcast thing, I'm starting to like Mutahar more and more. I think he's learning to tolerate me. So that's good. And Upa, please come on the Locale podcast. We'd love to have you there. Come make fun of me and Jordy for an hour. It'd be amazing.
Never been. Let's do it.
But it's like even that. It's like I don't know how much okay, making fun of like anybody. It's not like what I wake up for in the day.
No,
trust me. I wish I didn't have okay. Actually, that's a lie. I love Kick.com. Like, this is where it's kind of going.
Dude, I love Kick.
Yes.
It's like
crazy. Yeah.
It's like, all right, listen. The best if you're watching this, and you guys want to be a commentary YouTuber, and you want to buy a Lamborghini in the next 4 months, cover Kick.com. Like, craziest money print, infinite money glitch, GTA money glitch, right?
Yeah.
Because Kick.com guys, dude, they are insane. Like, I really feel like you kind of, in a way, take the heat off of you, because there are out right now on Kick who are literally selling like pornography on Discord servers. Allegedly, of course. I don't want to.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Isn't it that one guy that it was like allegedly talking to 15-year-olds on like Omegle and using like Kick to do it, and then taking it off the screen, but like still taking pictures of it and showing it into his Discord and shit, like nasty fucking like immature shit, like disgusting.
Very loose alleged. I don't know.
I think he actually got banned for it.
I saw 2 drunk streamers playing with a handgun on Twitch.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw the one clip where like they stuck it in the girl's mouth. I don't know if that was a real gun.
God, I hope not.
Because I think Brandon Herrera, he even commented on it. He's like, the way the slide was, like, it didn't seem like it was a real gun.
I said that as well on Twitter.
Yeah, regardless if it was a real gun or not, that's like the worst thing you could do on camera, right? Like, put a
BB gun right here.
I mean, did you hear that story?
Ooh.
Did you hear that story? The TikToker actually killed another TikToker. Like, didn't realize the gun was loaded and shot her like a cosplayer and killed her. But you didn't hear the story?
Oh, no. Was it the Desert Eagle? Because I know what you're talking about. It was like they fired a deagle and it like actually went. No, they had like a book or something. I remember.
Hey, thank you so much, Nathan G, for the small guy. Got a lot of subs today, man. I've been getting more. I've been so many more subs lately. I feel very honored for that. It's an incredible thing. I really appreciate that.
A story of like people putting like stacks of books to see how much a Desert Eagle could penetrate, and they were stupid enough to do it like this. And if you ever fired a Desert Eagle, that caliber, it will go through books and kill you.
No, I'm
and even
talking
if it doesn't,
about
your ribcage is.
Yeah, no, it's a cosplayer.
Well, they probably just thought it would hurt them, and it would be like a funny, haha, this guy got himself hurt. So.
Yandere cosplayer. Oh, that's awesome. Yandere cosplayer.
Imagine raising your kid just for them to do some dumbass shit like that.
Was charged with manslaughter for shooting her friend on TikTok.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I mean, like, it's just a lot of like, I think the social media side of things, it's like we've gotten a long ways from like Francis jumping into a pool to like, let's set up candid cameras without consent and like record this for live streams.
I mean, back in the day, the internet was really harmless, right? Like, and people, I felt like most.
I mean, I feel like I somewhat. Oh, sorry. Damn, I just pulled nose hairs out. Man, fucking nose. Yes and no. I mean, how far back in the day? There was a big point. I feel like YouTube. Now there's so many different spheres on there that like some of the shittier ones I think get generally drowned out. But back in the day, the shitty spheres were like the only thing that really existed. No. I mean, you had people doing wild shit, saying like insanely offensive things. Your Shane Dawson's, your Trisha Paytas's, your et cetera, et cetera. Even had James Charles, who used to be one of the biggest, Mario Kart mods in existence. It's a real thing. But now things have changed.
Most people were in on the joke, right? Like, I knew Waffle Pones was fake, right? He shoved a remote up his ass. Nobody actually does that. I knew that, like, Tourette's guy, the Psycho Dad, all this stuff, but that's not satisfying anymore. People want real blood. They want to see actual suffering. It's really fascinating where the internet's gotten to.
I mean, people always wanted to see suffering.
I feel like it was worse back in the day, no?
It's just finally people started monetizing it.
Yeah. Well, like, even with the Kick stuff, it's like, I'm surprised, like, when I'm watching, like, stuff on a phone, like, through an actual, like, official application. It used to be, like, you have to go to Live Leak for this shit, but now we're, like, at the cusp of, like, watching near snuff media.
Right, there's porn on every smart TV in America now. You just open up Twitch, okay?
Yeah, honest to God, we're getting to, like, a point. But, like, even with, like, some of these Kick people, it's like...
Yeah, I just found out about this, like, yesterday. This is James Charles's coding thing from when he was a kid.
Video of like myself.
This is apparently real. Isn't that wild? I fucking knew Nintendo. I knew this Yoshi makes you gay. Yeah, there's like tons of gore all over the internet. I just feel like it's more. I don't know. There's probably just more of what they're consuming now.
I know me and you have covered like Johnny Somali. Have you seen like his update? Like, he has no remorse for like the country of Japan. Like, he could still legally be fucked going back. Or even still is.
Yeah, dude, I hate Johnny Small.
Thank you so much for that 3-month small gut. Hi, I'm Ricky. Me and my girlfriend got our first place. Have any advice? To clean it. Fucking unironically set one day a week to just like clean it. Keep your bathrooms clean. Keep shit swept, vacuumed. A little bit every day and every week is better than fucking your house turned into a shithole. Don't get too lazy. Take the little extra steps to like organize your clothes and put them away. Don't throw everything all over the floor. Like a little stuff. It adds up when you don't do it. You know what I mean? I would honestly say when you have to use a dish, put it right in the dishwasher. And once that's loaded up, just turn the dishwasher on like instantly. Don't sit it in the sink and let it fucking sit there and soak and stuff. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I don't
He's
think
probably my least favorite content creator.
I don't think there's anything. You know, the most wholesome thing I've seen, and this is like as much like I have against Ice Poseidon as like crypto ways. There was like a clip where it was like Ice Poseidon's throwing plates at people, and it was just him with like the Apple Vision AR headset, just like memeing around. I'm like, that might be the most wholesome IRL shit that I've seen in a long time. You know, sea of like just people being degenerate scumbags. Like, it wasn't a while ago. It was less than a year that we had like Suspenders getting his ass handed to him at every single Japanese like subway terminal.
Yeah.
Could we just be like a racist?
You know what I should do? Buy a second VR headset, and my wife and I should play VR and stuff. And did you guys like that? You want to see that?
Piece of shit the whole time. And I guess that's where like at least this one brand of the internet is. Like, I see Trainwrecks kind of talking about it, Aiden Ross even, right, where they're like, shit, what the f did we unleash on the internet? Even like there are moments where they're even looking at what they've done. And I don't want to sound like I'm throwing Kick under the bus. Like, I feel like, you know, for every bad Kick streamer I see, there's like plenty of people that just play video games and are just more.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that like Kick is probably not as bad as Rumble, but I think Kick is basically that alternative platform where you can get away with stuff you can't get away with on Twitch. And so it's going to obviously the more degenerate people are going to gravitate towards that platform, you know?
Almost just the site's TOS.
That's right. Go to kick.com/Nuxanor. Catch my premium content.
Yeah, like premium content. Yeah, it's like Nux is reacting to like snuff media on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm almost dead. Fuck.
No, but yeah, I don't know. The whole side of IRL live streaming is pretty wild. But you know, to see you kind of come back with like a locale podcast. I mean, like the reason I mentioned Kick and a lot of that stuff is like, I feel like if your goal is relevancy, right? Like your goal is to be there, then I think it's just time to take away the entire Mr. Rogers Act and just be like a supervillain of the internet. I think that like if the internet wants
I
you
don't
to be
feel like that's good advice. Oh,
it's
God.
not good advice.
I mean,
I understand what he's saying. According to what Boogie's saying, that would be what he would want to do, but it's not. Like Boogie's just making excuses for shit behavior. The reality is that like what he needs to do is fucking do something and work dependently. Like, I think that we're shifting away from like the theatrics online, and people are shifting more towards like actual human beings making content. So I would be like, that's probably the better place to gravitate towards. But just figure out how you'd want to. And I wouldn't do Kick. I feel like that's the worst thing for him to do. Like, he needs to stream and like, I don't know, figure out what he's going to do, whether it's gaming content or whatever. I would honestly do stuff that you have the Locale podcast. I think it's better to stay away from talking about drama and controversy. Stop having dumb political opinions on the internet that you don't even care about. It's not even like you're interested in politics, and it's just you don't care about politics. You're not interested in what you're saying. You're interested in generating an audience. So like stream on YouTube or Twitch, and then like do Let's Plays or something. Like shift your channel a little bit, then do some gaming news sometimes. If you enjoy that, do commentary on that kind of stuff. Stay away from like the forced take. Stop talking about wokeness and shit. It's fucking boring. Okay, like you don't need to have this performative, you know, Gamergate 2 ridiculousness. You know what I mean?
But
like, he's not wrong. Like if I'm willing to like self-employed to pay the bills, he's not wrong, right?
Bro, he's not going to take good. I've given Boogie plenty of good advice. He's not going to take it. So take my bad advice.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right
Here's
now,
the
that'll
thing.
work.
So one thing that like really bothers me, it's when people seem to always want help, but they're not willing to help themselves.
Based.
And
and I'm definitely that guy.
You look like you are that guy, and it's really difficult.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Like, he's self-aware enough to know that he has this bad behavior, and he still engages in the bad behavior. You don't have an excuse anymore. You know about your bad behavior, and then you still do it. You still justify it. So it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's definitely me. Like, are you proud of it? Like, you can change. He just doesn't want to.
Like, obviously, you never did anything as evil as these Minecraft guys that are getting exposed.
Did none of them like know anything about like these recent Minecraft things? Like, I don't understand why they keep saying that.
Or
I mean, at the end of the day, it'll always come down to the most obvious advice anyone can give me, and there will always be correct to give it, which is you got to stop being a fat piece of shit. And it's
no, you don't even have to stop being fat. You just have to start working.
Something I've worked on, and nobody ever really understands that. I don't know.
Anti-woke shit gets views if it's a flip. Dude, it's not for everybody. Like, it's not really working for Boogie.
It's so hard to explain to people because it's so hard to explain mental illness and craziness. But I have been.
This is what I'm talking about. Everybody has mental. Like, I have legitimate like issue. Like, I had like unironically my ADHD was a pretty big deal. I was on like medication in and out of like therapy. Well, really mostly in therapy. Massive behavioral issues for other things. I have like Tourette's. I have OCD. I have like problems, right? There's a difference between acknowledging your mental health issues in a way where it's like, okay, I understand my behavior and where it comes from. Here's how I'm going to change it, versus engaging with your alleged mental health issue where you're like, oh, I have a problem and here's why it's okay. And that's what Boogie does. He's always like, oh, well, it's so hard to explain mental health. Shut the fuck up. Like, this is what I'm talking about. He knows where he's wrong. He knows where he's wrong. He knows his problems. He's very aware of himself, and he refuses to actually engage in some kind of a change. That's the problem with Boogie. That's why people like struggle to respect this guy. And he puts on this like false nice guy. Boogie's probably, I don't know. Like, I think he is a piece of shit. I think all the people pleasing shit's all an optics play. I don't think he necessarily cares about people. I think he's just kind of a scumbag. I don't think he's a good, genuine person. You don't really know where you sit with him in any real capacity. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who can be a genuine friend. He was talking before about like whatever LGBTQ bullshit his friend hired a trans person or whatever, and then like he sold his friend out immediately. Like it's I don't know the context of the situation, but like, you know, and then when the guy's like, you should have came to me first, like, yeah, you're probably right. It sounds like he's just opportunistic. He's looking for like a dunk punch all the time. It's like, dude, what this guy's fucking like listening to him in any long capacity, you just realize how much he deserves his circumstance, you know?
My obesity since I was 5. And, you know, I definitely had the wrong help early on. Like, my mom admitted when I was 25, she fed me wrong on purpose to make me as fat as she could make me in the hopes I wouldn't meet a woman and leave her, right? Mm-hmm. So, like...
Maybe. I don't know if I believe that.
But I've been in charge of my own life for 30 years. And this is what I've done with it. And sure, I lost 200 pounds and kept it off. But that's because that surgery did
the humble bragging
his job. A lot of people are like, you undid the surgery, and I kind of did. But at the same time, like, I can only eat so much in a day, and that's why I'm not 600 pounds again. It is.
I mean, you get to a point where you stretch your stomach back out if that's the surgery you got. So
the best advice anyone here could give me, which is get control of your eating disorder and do better. And I still don't know how to do that. It's so.
The best advice is to actually focus on empowering your career instead of making excuses. Like, who cares that you're overeating at this point?
Oh. It's so mind-bogglingly frustrating. Most other things I've been able to accomplish. Like, I built a YouTube business, right, out of my bedroom. I once cared very, very much about that and spent a lot of time working very hard to do it. And I live streamed 7 nights a week, you know. And
when did he ever live stream 7 nights a week?
I feel like you should just comment on 90s internet degeneracy.
Sure. When did Boogie ever stream that often? Is that true? I feel like that was never true.
Everything's fully charged.
I don't know.
Like, one of your oldest like things was like you being like a porn webmaster back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I want to just see that, Boogie. Like, I want to just like at this point, I think what really hurt your career was the constant need to be accepted and to be nice. Like, as somebody on the internet, I have agreed and like come to peace where it's like I will constantly get into like I'm never going to be 100% like lovable guy. Like, it's just never going to happen.
That's
like,
specifically what the LolCow podcast has given me. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, how was it giving you that?
Like even recently,
I don't think that you understand what like Mudahar's saying. Mudahar's pretty sure what he's saying is that like you need to not care about everybody accepting you and just be as like genuine as you can be. And if people don't like you, just like it is what it is. All right. Instead of putting on an act desperate for everybody to enjoy you in some capacity. I'm pretty sure that's all he's saying. I don't know what he does in the LolCow podcast, but I doubt that that's what it gives you.
With like investigating into this couple stuff, which I'm not going to dig into until like, you know, the time I release this video. But even with that, it's like, you know, the amount of people that'll come up and, you know, assume different things.
Keffel's is fucked.
Like, I have just gotten to the point where I remember hearing like
by Tipster.
She would say that Muda's supposed to be like an wholesome guy. I'm like, bro, I talk about butt plugs, the dark web, the craziest shit in the world. There is no wholesome, nice guy,
I think
Mr.
you can
Rogers.
be a wholesome person, but still like butt plugs. I
would agree.
To me, wholesomeness.
You missed like the whole point of his entire ramble over there.
Well, but what I'm saying is like, people have projected onto Muda that he's much more wholesome than he might actually be. And I think that's the point of the ramble. But the point that I'm making is to say that I think I could have worked in the for 7 years, which I did, and still be a good person. And I think at the end of the day, I am a good person. I've never really harmed other people.
What does that mean, never really harmed?
I've mostly harmed myself, and I suck as a person, but I'm not a harmful person, I should say.
Over the last hour, you've told us you sucked so many times. You have told us
I suck. I'm going to keep saying that. I'll never stop saying that.
You've told us your obesity problems. You've told us literally every way you firebombed your own.
Kind of a base nuts here.
God, I really tried not to do that.
But you did anyway.
But I did, yeah.
The point, you do it every time I see you on a podcast or a talk show, you end up going there. You got
it's a pity party. He wants people to feel sympathy for him. That's really all it is.
Get your headspace out of there. And I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of faith.
Yeah, Headspace is like desperate for attention, so it's never gonna stop.
We kind of end something like this off. I always like to, and I've always said this. I wish the best in everybody. Right?
I really wish you the best, man.
Except some of those degenerate kick streamers. Like, I'm sorry. The moment you're on Discord selling alleged pornography, straight in jail with you, out the feds raid. But no, in your situation, it's like, yeah, I agree with Nux. It's like when you're on shows, it's like, or anything. It always comes down to like, oh, you know, I myself. Like, what is
Dude,
like?
That's where your headspace is. Can you at least train yourself to not talk about it? Like, don't talk about it.
That's why there's never like an actual reason to have a conversation with like Boogie if you're looking for a productive conversation. Because it doesn't matter what you say. He already has heard it before. He already knows, and he doesn't care. So, like, what are you going to do? Like, oh, hey, here's a piece of advice for you to, like, not be a worthless piece of shit. Oh, yeah, I know. What the fuck did I just get? Oh, god damn it. Man, this fucking keyboard sensitive, boy. Anyway, it's like, okay. So what do you do with that, you know?
Not how you...
There's no point. There's no productivity coming out of it, you know?
Firebombed your own life for the next week. And instead,
I will do that for you, and I will not do it for the rest of the podcast. So anyway, here's how the shaman ended up in love.
Listen, man, I'm going to give you content advice right now. Follow this advice for 1 week, okay?
Yeah.
Every day, upload a reaction to a different TLC fat guy video. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. You're going to have to edit that up a little bit, or else it's going to get the MCA, but sure, that's smart. Actually, unironically, probably a good thing for him to react to fat people and then like give some of his fat advice about it. He probably could do pretty well on it. And he could probably get it so short that it would do well on TikTok too.
You know, fat guy reacts to mine a 300-pound life, all right? And give insight and comment.
300 pounds. There's no... I live my 300-pound life. You talk about like my 800-pound life.
Commentary as a fat guy about that other fat guy. I could see
without degrading myself in that process?
I feel like you shouldn't have to. Yeah, because...
Correct.
Okay,
you're commenting on that. It's not about talking about how pathetic you are, okay? Don't bring up how pathetic you are. You're someone that was obese. You're going to try to work your best to get better. And now you're going to commentate on their lifestyle, on things that you notice that
you don't think that'll come across as extremely hypocritical?
No. What's hypocritical?
No, because you're trying to make...
Well, no, you should be able to... I think this is I'm going to die here. It's fucking 28 minutes in. It's actually ridiculous. That's fucking diarrhea dial really pumped up.
Better. It's like... You know, like it's like it would be one thing if like you're doing mukbangs every day. It's like one thing if you're Nico Cotto doing like 30 like Popeye chicken sandwiches in like 30 minutes, and then your next video is like, look at this fat. Like, yeah, then we'd be mad.
You can react to Nico Cotto videos.
I am going to take your advice. I'm going to film at least one video like this.
Do it for a week. I love it when Caleb does
videos.
It, for the record.
No,
okay?
you gotta,
seven
you gotta do
videos,
like
and over all those videos, do not degrade yourself. All of them will be, I'm going to try to get better. I'm going to try to get out of this place. All right.
You don't have to do that. You could just talk about it from like your own perspective of like, oh, like here's my struggle with XYZ. So all you have to do.
No degrading yourself, talking about how much you suck and messed up your own life. And you every single day for 7 days without missing one of them. All right, I would have said a month, but I'm not I'm not expecting.
Right, yeah, you're not
7 days, all right? It's an easy attainable goal. Every day react to a different either TLC 300-pound life or a Nikocado avocado type video or something like that where your personal life circumstances can give insight into what they are going through that perhaps your viewers would not have seen. Try to do something like that.
One of the things that I don't understand even is like the food addiction side of things. Like food for me is very much like nowadays it's like kind of like a need versus like a want.
That's Mike Clump too. Mike is exactly like that. It's fascinating to me, but go ahead.
Yeah, like for me it's like food. Like unless I'm with friends, it's like sure I'll order like a nice steak or something, but usually I'm like this is just what I need to get by through the day, you know?
No, I love having something good, something delicious. I don't even know if I can explain it to you, but like something that tastes good. It's fun. It's a fun thing to do. It's interesting to think about because like all of this is like a taste reception thing, but it's scrumptious.
Like I started doing the whole intermittent fasting thing, and it's not difficult to do at all because I'm just like, all right, I know what to eat, and then I fill like for me, it's like I fill up on the right amount of like nutrition I need, and then I off do the rest.
I mean, intermittent fasting is just like eating on a times table where it's like you can only eat within 8 hours. It's supposed to be like self-regulation. So if you're like, oh, I can only eat from like 2 to 8, you can eat as much as you want, but eventually you're going to be so full you can't eat more. And then ideally, when you get full, or when you start to get like hungry again, you're like, well, it's not my 2 to 8 period. So you know, it's like an auto-regulation type of a thing. It's fine. I mean, you're still going to be pretty much just trying to reduce your calories overall. But
the rest of my day, then I eat, you know, whenever the intermittent fasting is over.
In case you want to try to relate to this at all, I wake up thinking about what I'm going to eat. I think about food the entire day. And while I'm drifting off to sleep, I think about what I've eaten. I'll probably have eaten something within 10 minutes of laying my head down the pillow, and I will probably be thinking about what I'm eating the next day.
Cool. So, like, have you considered trying to eat more like nutrient-dense foods, just more like with every meal? Like, obviously not. Just like have some broccoli with your meal and then eat like 10 minutes later because you'll be more full. Or have you tried not being like actually working or doing something productive that keeps your mind off food? Of course not. Like you notice that like a lot of drug addicts are workaholics because they try to keep their shit distracted. Boogie does. This is the problem. This is the problem with people who have some kind of addiction or addictive personality that get everything that they want that they could possibly like need with like very low effort. Like it's the same with 2Med. It's somebody with like a mental health problem who got an extraordinary amount of money, which gave him the access to do tons of drugs. Same thing with Boogie with like low effort. It's the same thing with Boogie. Like you're in a job that requires you to have your own structure in your life, and you simply just aren't engaging in that, and you're not doing it. And you don't work. Like you're not doing any work. Like you're lazy, and everybody else does it for you because they feel bad for you. It's like a fucking pity party, you know. Like do something.
I am food obsessed. It has been.
What's your favorite food? What's your last meal?
Let's start thinking about it right now.
The last thing I ate right now was a beef noodle.
Last meal means the last thing you could ever eat.
Beef noodle pot. And if I could have anything right now, I would kill to have a nice big piece of prime rib. Ooh, with a nice baked potato. Oh,
Boogie, if you could put your into one food, what would it be?
Into one food and a hot apple pie.
All right.
You're literally like it's funny because
way
it's like
too quickly.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like it's not even like the one thing that would come to your head was like fast food. It's like you're like prime rib. You weren't even like quarter pounder or anything of that nature.
You want to know where most of my money really went? It did not necessarily go to hookers. That was a thing that I did.
Oh, we got a new narrative, guys.
But that definitely has been exaggerated by the internet, and that's fine.
You exaggerated that, if it was even exaggerated. This guy's so weird. All of a sudden now it's prime ribs where all his money went to. Dude, okay.
But the majority of my food went out to crazy good meals. I went to some crazy.
This is like I don't understand why there's always a new narrative it's just like this desperation to be like relatable or interesting or new. Like what? All of a sudden, I didn't really spend a lot of money on hookers. Actually, it was a lot of food. It's just like this new thing. I don't even think I believe him when he says he wants a fucking steak. I'm pretty sure this guy just like wants to eat fucking slop. But by the way, I get it. I've been there too. But I don't know, dude. What is? Just stop. It's always something. It's always something.
Good meals, man. And
like, we're talking like Michelin star shit. Like you went in for the $1,000 like Wagyu at the Vegas?
No. My friend Mike, he bought me a meal like that for my birthday this year, and it'll be like that was the most expensive meal I ever had. But no, I didn't mind taking a couple of friends out and dropping $250 at even just Outback or local steak place or that kind of thing. I spent
not a lot of money.
It was when you.
It is a lot of money, but okay.
Cheaper in
Arkansas?
Was
when. It was for me, and I spent. I mean, you got to
for like Outback, like it's probably like $60 a person, so like 4 people. Okay.
Remember, I was eating 3 to 5 times a day.
Okay, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, 2 to 3 meals a day, and so when I would travel,
fucking unrelatable.
Pull out to like Disneyland,
except for the hentai, that's relatable to me. I jerk off to that too. Sometimes it depends.
I would eat everything that I wanted to try. I go buy everything. So my food budget for Disneyland would be like $500. Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
At Disneyland?
Didn't he take girls to Disneyland though?
Per day?
No, like not per day.
Okay,
well, Disneyland is expensive. Like food there is obviously going to be expensive. Pack sandwiches, guys.
Yeah. I'm like per day. I'd fly through the screen and strangle you.
I mean, you got to remember. You got to remember Disneyland. $20 for a snack at Disneyland. Like that shit ain't cheap. They get you coming and going at Disneyland. But then on top of that, man, like the sushi restaurants and
I'm coming and going. What the hell did I just do at Disney? What the fuck did I just do?
Like not per day.
Okay.
I just hit a button. Sorry.
Like the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm like per day. I'd fly through the screen and strangle you.
I mean, you got to remember. You got to remember Disneyland. $20 for a snack at Disneyland. Like that shit ain't cheap. They get you coming and going at Disneyland. But then on top of that, man, like the sushi restaurants and one of my dumbest things is I like to treat other people, and so like I don't like
sushi's yummy.
Like to eat alone if I can help it. I'd rather be with a friend, and of course there were women I took to these things as well, but also like mostly friends and stuff. And this is how stupid I am. Here's how stupid I am with money. Let me self-report. Let me self-report right now. Here's how stupid I am with money. I spent $50 on pizza to feed my friend Saturday night. That's how stupid I am.
Oh, so stupid.
Because I wanted pizza.
That's not like that's a very normal behavior that you're sensationalizing, paying for food for everybody. But okay.
He's still degrading himself. Do you understand this? Like after the whole speech, he's still going. It's unbelievable.
I feel like he writes off every behavior as like, look how stupid I am. Look at this. Okay.
It's not a bad thing. Feeding your friends is good. That's not a bad thing.
Because I probably shouldn't be spending $50 right now on nothing.
It's not stupid. It's good. Okay, when you're going to, you know what's stupid? It's like, okay, when you get a hooker and you're still like paying for the meal, like I don't understand why.
Well, so I do want to.
I mean, that's part of the experience, Brian. I guess.
I do want you to understand. I was never into sex for money. That's never a thing. That happened sometimes.
The hooker was for money. The sex was free.
But for me, it was about companionship.
Okay.
And for me, it was about like
I mean, I might believe this because I can't imagine his sex drive is particularly high based on like how the food he's eating and his activity level.
Having someone to hang out,
and, like his fucking tanking testosterone. Testosterone typically makes you more like turned on.
with. Like my thought process was, and it was a stupid thought process, but my thought process was, I want to go out to a nice dinner, and I don't want to do it alone, and I'm not emotionally available after my divorce, so I have no interest in dating. So why not take a pretty person out to dinner with me?
The LA 10s.
Arkansas hates, yeah.
Well, no, you at least did LA 10s, right?
I definitely, yeah.
Like when you were okay, that's the one that you're taking out to dinner. You're not taking the Arkansas 8s out. You can do that anytime. The LA 10s
I
are the ones
did, but most of the time that was more like Slim Chickens rather than like a steak place, you know. I mean, yeah.
I would just go to Applebee's after 10, baby. I worked until 10, so it made it easier for me to be able to pull that one off. It was pretty good.
But and at the end of the day, like the worst thing you can say about me about all of that is I definitely paid for a lot of people's car notes, and I definitely paid for a lot of college books and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm in a college town. There's a lot of the people that I met were just trying to pay their way through college, and I try.
And that's how he justifies it, guys. I was just helping get through college.
Try to console myself with that.
While he's degrading himself, like this is new territory.
Yeah. It's like you get the hookers, and then you're like, well, see, it went to a good cause. Like it went to
at least it went to a good cause. You know, like in the documentary, I did get one girl to go back to nursing school, right? You know?
You're like, I'm like Arkansas's Department of Education single.
Well, you said the whole thing was sensationalized, no? So wouldn't that be like potentially fake? It's interesting how you pick and choose what was and wasn't for show.
Subsidizing post-secondary school.
I will. Can I give some advice to every parent out there in the world? My best advice to you.
No, you shouldn't.
Love hookers. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you want your daughter to never do anything salacious,
okay,
pay your daughter's car note.
Well, you heard it, parents. You don't want them going into prostitution. Pay the card.
Because most of the women that were into that lifestyle were doing it because their parents were not able to support them anymore or were not willing to. And I met a couple that were just like, well.
I mean, that seems like if your kid is willing to go and be an escort for money for whatever reason, or specifically because you won't help them pay for their car, they're probably too far gone there. It's not really a normal behavior. And you shouldn't just be like encouraging every shit behavior from your kid, but okay.
Yeah, they gave me this expensive SUV and they didn't pay for it. Why are they not paying for it?
It's like the parents are at fault here.
They gave it to them? What?
Why they have to go down into escorting. They're the ones getting nice-ass Land Rovers, but they're not paying for those parents, dude. Pieces of shit. No.
Another message for parents. If your kids are watching Minecraft YouTubers, holy shit. Nuke their
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I think the best way to end it on is like, look, at the end of the day, and this is a wild bar to be comparing it to. It's like the reason why, like, you can't. I feel like I can't be like mad so much at Boogie anymore. Is like after seeing all the Minecraft stuff come out, it's like, bro, the amount of dudes not asking for consent, the amount of like crazy shit. I'm like, that is.
What am I missing with the consent thing? I looked at the George is not found, the fucking Wilbert suit thing, and the puns. Like, what are we talking about? Like when it comes to not asking for consent, who are we referring to? Or has Mudahar just not really looked into any of this stuff? I don't really. Or is there somebody else that we're talking about? Because that pun situation, I'm pretty sure was just like he was dating a girl and she said she got blackout drunk on 2 beers, Smirnoff Ices, and then doesn't remember having sex with him, and somehow that wasn't consensual. Like, I don't know. What are we referring to when we say like not asking for consent? I'm not understanding. Like, am I just out of the loop?
That is incredibly dangerous stuff. Now, I don't know what happened. Like Caleb said at the beginning, I think in the span of 10 microseconds, the entire landscape changes. Like a new allegation, like every few minutes.
Insane.
It's a weird place. And
Listen,
social media.
I don't think you're a bad man. I think you're a little bit pathetic sometimes. But I
agree with that.
You gotta freaking pick yourself up by the bootstraps, okay?
Yeah.
Prove me wrong and do something, man, and get better.
Yeah.
I will do that for you, Nux. And actually, Nux, I got told prior to coming on here you weren't my biggest fan.
I'm not.
And you know what? Who is? And you've been absolutely awesome and civil to me today, and I just think that shows a great strength of character. I really appreciate it, man.
That's fair.
It's really just fucking glazing people. It's like a defense mechanism from this guy. You could fucking spit in his face and he'll suck your dick, dude.
Well, I mean, we're not the Lolcow podcast bringing Blade on it and shitting on him for his alcoholism.
Listen, all right, send me a message on Discord. Someone will connect you. I will feed you, not literally, I will feed you videos and ideas to make content on to try to help your channel pick itself back up.
Hell yeah. I don't mess with Discord a lot, but you know what? Twitter.
Or Twitter. Fine, Twitter. I'll message you on
Twitter.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well,
do I believe that?
To be fair, like we're going to end up on a like. This is going to be a content plan, all right? And much as the difficulty you've had with like diet plans, I think a content plan you can stick with. It's literally being fed to you from Nux. And honestly, look, I want the best possible outcome for everybody watching. And I think like at the end of the day, like I don't want to walk away from like these things where like an entertaining episode all the time. Like entertainment is like subjective. I do like insight. I do like actually talking to people that I often can disagree with, and at least walking away with like some sort of a plan or some sort of like betterment. Look, I'm not going to sit here and like pretend that you're the most evilest like creator that I've ever met. I've met plenty of bad people on this platform. Lots of evil people. Lots of financial scammers. Lots of files. Lots of stuff people. So I'm not gonna equate you to that pot, right? what I will say is, like, as many disagreements as I can have, I do ultimately wish that you follow through with some sort of plan and get your life together. Because
but that's the problem, right? Is that, like, he has the plans, he's self-aware enough to understand them, he just doesn't want to do them because he's lazy. He wants somebody else to do everything for him, and then he's still not going to do it. He's still not going to care, and if he fails, he'll just blame somebody else. So he was blaming Mike Klum for the bad interaction. Oh, if the EDP thing goes bad, don't blame me, blame him. He's blaming his friend Mick Juggernuggets for his bad fucking financial investments. He takes no accountability for himself, and any accountability that he pretends, like, he shows you that he's taking, it's all performative accountability to make it seem like he actually is somebody who's, like, aware of his actions. It's like, oh yeah, he is aware. He is taking accountability. No, he's not. He's downplaying it as much as possible. He's just saying whatever he feels like he needs to say for you to be like, oh wow, look at this guy. You know, this is fucking full of shit.
I never, like, and it goes to the same people, right? It's like, I would say, and Caleb can probably agree with me, I've probably been a lot madder at Too Mad than I was ever mad at you, right? Caleb can probably attest to at least my
Too Mad,
personality.
Like, again, Boogie didn't do anything
evil guy. That guy was bad, right?
Yeah.
And even then, in that situation, like, I dig out the empathy. I still try to help as much as I can. So with your situation, it's like, I am more obviously in the corner. I'm more available to ever help out.
Because and not to throw ignorance on your side.
Yeah.
Not to throw Mutahar under the bus here, but I'm more than willing to do it. Number one, he's been willing to put his differences aside to help with this project with the Lolcow podcast. And number two, I think you've said it several times. You said it privately, you said it publicly. At the end of the day, you did that in the hopes to help me and Jordy, and I think that's pretty amazing of you. And so there might be people out there like, oh no, he's a nice guy, he's a good person.
Like, I walked into the Lolcow podcast, and don't get me wrong, the first like week of it, I'm like, man, Keem, you are taking advantage of these guys. But like, at the end of the day, it's like, you guys own it.
I mean, they're adults, so they are letting it happen.
I feel like there's a difference. You guys are willing participants, and whatever memes come out of it, whatever you guys say about it. Like, it's you guys self-monetizing the internet, like, hate wagon that you have against you. Look, I think very few people are irredeemable. I think you can redeem yourself. At the end of the day, all I wish is, like, you're more honest, you're more forthcoming. And like Nuck said, it's like, the less depreciating you are about yourself, the better I think you'll be received by the people that follow you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
at first I thought Nux was going to be like, yeah, I don't want you to do it at all for a week. I'm like, dude, I have to go on the live show with Keemstar tomorrow. That's the entire bit. Like, the entire bit.
Flip the script on there
and
every time he calls you
people...
fat, you call him bald. Okay, dude?
I know, you know, last episode, I screamed at the top of my lungs at Keemstar, and it felt really good. I've done that privately a few times, but I've never done it publicly. Now that I've done it publicly, maybe we'll just do that every episode. That sounds so much fun.
Do it, man. Stand up for yourself,
100%.
okay? Listen, I don't think you could change, but I want...
Is it really standing up for yourself, though, if it's all part of a bit? Or, you know what I mean?
I want you to prove me wrong. And I'll try...
He can't help himself. He's just a passenger in his own life. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. That's what he convinces himself, though.
Listen, I think the best success here, the best Boogie that I want to see, and it's going to be up for me to say it, I want 4chan Boogie. I want Boogie posting on r/poll to make a comeback. This is the wild part of the internet. No, dude, I've always said that I hated people that, like, just, you can always feel the I'm not saying I want, like, Boogie to come here and, like, go full like, you know, like, full racist right now. I want, like, the raunchy.
That'd be pretty base. What was I gonna say? What the fuck? That'd be pretty base if he did that, though. It'd be kind of cool. I'm down for it.
The guy that I know that...
See, but here's the thing. If someone's going to be raunchy, they have to be able to take the heat. And Boogie, well, he takes a lot of heat, but he's not good at it.
Yeah, that's the whole project. The Lolcow project is learning how to toughen myself up. Like, obviously, it's helping pay the bills, which is great. But at the end of the day, I signed up for that in the hopes that I could learn to grow a fucking backbone, and it's working. And so maybe one day I can just admit to being the sexually adventurous 49-year-old man who would date a 21-year-old woman, and it doesn't give a shit, and I'll say what I think, and I feel what I think, and I don't give a if you like it. And maybe I can be that person one day. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, hopefully you go through the content plan, you go through the diet plan, you lose some of that weight, you come back stronger than ever, and you're more you. Look, the internet loves personality.
I screamed at him. Where was that energy when he was on his hands and knees apologizing to him? Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's all fucking performance to me.
That's one of the reasons why, like,
that's why AI will never fully take
that's
over.
AI's never going to take over. Nux is always going to be the guy that VTubers either love or they hate. I'm always going to be the guy that's like raunchy, you know, I hate the moniker of, like, goody two shoes. And trust me, I talk about butt plugs, the dark web, crazy stuff. Dude, do not let your shit kids watch me.
Look, no one in this call is a goody two shoes, except 3 of us are willing to admit that.
I'm a piece of shit and I hate the internet.
I'm a piece of shit and I also hate the internet. When did I not admit that? Dude, you guys don't remember. I grew up on old school. Like, the internet sucks now, but I remember Style Project, Rotten.com, Ogrish.com. Like, the shit that I saw at the beginning of the internet. Oh, like holy shit!
Bro,
like,
you saw one snuff video. I'm watching streams.
It's funny, like they're talking about how like YouTube or the fucking internet is so much crazier now than it used to be, and now they're talking about watching fucking snuff films on the internet. Like, yeah, like the internet's always been fucked up.
On Kick where dudes have guns and mouths. I think the internet's way
That's true.
There was one YouTuber who recently said this. I don't remember who it was. Maybe you can remind me. He said the N-word has no power. I could say it right now with no cameras and nothing would happen.
It doesn't. Listen, it's just a word. I stand by that. Words in a vacuum mean nothing.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't stand by anything, so I don't know why he would even say that. Sure, it's just a word. You can say it offline if you want, I guess.
Say it.
They're just mouth sounds. If I'm alone in a room and I say the N-word to nobody and nothing, it doesn't mean anything.
Do you do that?
Sure, I'll do it right now. Let me turn off all my cameras and I'll whisper it into my carpet. Who gives a shit? It's just a word.
Okay.
What is this like weird performative yelling here? I don't understand. And like, why is that like how you want to be portrayed? I feel like there's a difference between being like, oh, I'm gonna be a little bit raunchy and I'll be unapologetic about it, versus like attention baiting by like, yeah, I'll say the N-word. It's like, okay, cool, man. Like, thanks for letting us know, man.
Using it to describe a person of color, saying it to a black person, that's the problem. The problem isn't the word.
And that's where we sign off, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed today's podcast, the last 30 seconds, I'm not going to sit and co-sign, but ladies and gentlemen, this has been me.
This is what we've been saying. Platforming does not equal agreeing with all of their views. You see, I like landlords, and Boogie does not.
It's just a mouth noise! And also landlords.
Right, well, we're going to end it off over here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, Nux, Mudahar, Nux, and Superville. We're all signing out, so I'm a little brain broken after the last 30 seconds. But,
Schizo work.
You guys can check us out. Oompaville, obviously, great channel. Nux Talk, a great channel.
I feel like when on the rare chance to like react to these, I don't really see Oompaville really talking too much. Is that like a normal thing, or maybe it's just when I engage with it?
.com/Nux.
Maybe he knows I'm watching him and he's getting nervous.
YouTube.com/SomeOrdinaryGamers if you guys want to absolutely check out some degeneracy every day. But of course, the chief degenerate in office is obviously Boogie2988. You can check him out at www.youtube.com/Boogie2988. And
don't forget that Lolcow podcast.
Yeah, the Lolcow Live podcast about the wildest show that we can imagine. But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you all enjoyed today's episode. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully there was some insight. And look forward to Boogie's reactions to my 600-pound life and him finally not
Boogie, I will feed you content, okay? I will tell you what to title the videos, all right? I will even make your thumbnals if you want.
We'll see, I guess, in the next week if he actually does that. Huh?
Let's do it.
You will be my guinea pig project, okay?
I'll do everything for you. And of course I'll do that.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, I do have hold on. I do have a video, and Nux and Muda and Oopa, I would love it if you don't. I do have a compilation video coming out of YouTubers making fun of me for rolling back under 4 million subscribers, and I've got like some real banger ones too. So we have to release that first, and then we can stop.
And then we can stop. Okay, all right.
Listen,
that one's too good.
I'm not preventing you from doing whatever you want, but daily uploads. You hear me? Daily uploads, and I'm not giving you any difficult content. Easy ass content, bro.
Reaction content. Yeah, it gets as easy as it can. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it is. You should do it.
Well,
bye, guys.
Everyone take care, and we're out.
Okay. Well, cool video. It was especially cool that my bitrate didn't drop, and it was extra cool because I'm in the fucking basement, and like I'm connected to a Wi-Fi extender, and I feel like that went pretty well.